Better turn myself on. Hello.
Here we go, Trashy.
We're here. All right, ladies and germs. Mic's not off. You shut up. It was when I started, but no, it's not. Shh. So just quickly before we get started, hopefully this works. Fingers crossed. But Nutty's on a 19th month, a 16-month streak. Sorry, Nutty, not a 19-month. Your dyslexia is showing. You're actually on a 4-month streak, but you've on a 16 subscribed for 16 months. So you actually got that wrong. And Trashy's been subscribed for 12 months and on currently on a 9-month streak. But thank you for the resubs, guys. Appreciate it. But quickly, just going to switch scenes here and see if this works. Oh, look at that. It worked. So,
Yay!
This is a mock-up of what potentially could be coming when we get our cams sorted. So as you can see there, we have the Discord open and everyone's in there, in the Discord. If each one of them speaks, hopefully we've got enough of the green line showing that you should actually be able to see them when they're speaking. Green lines.
Hello.
Any green line?
It's showing a little bit. I can't see full screen version of mine, but it's showing. I can see it. But like I said, there is a name there that shouldn't be there, obviously, because I created this overlay before a certain party member was brutally murdered by her friends. So this is again, like I said, just a mock-up of a potential scene for cams. I have got I'm going to look at making up another one similar, but with bigger cams, without the portraits, slideshow, and just the cams. Fuck you, Drax. I'm going to have to remember to turn them off during D&D. And yeah, so that's potentially what we're looking at. Don't fucking do that, or I'll ban every fucking one of you.
I've got one too.
Don't do it.
What am I not doing? Exactly, Auntie.
Sean, you're the game master, mate. You know, if they do it, you can just lay them to rest during the game.
That's it, eh? I mean, I feel a death coming on for certain people. Right, so I've fixed that anyway. So now you can try it now if you like, and nothing will happen. Fuck you guys! God.
How rude. God.
I could have said the same for you, being rude and making sounds on our D&D thing not related to D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there. No, I'm kidding. Anywho, so for the time being, obviously we're using the Discord overlay, which you'll see up in the corner there. Whenever I speak, we have a little green circle on my name there, and then everyone else has got theirs as well. It's not perfect. You can see, but I haven't cropped it down quite enough, and we've got green bits when other people are talking. But hey, at least you can tell who's talking and who's not. Until we get cams organized, I am going to look at another overlay which will have the cams being bigger, set out in a different format, and still having the character portraits slideshow, which is over there, and just resizing everything, put them in a slightly better pace, which will mean map reference will be a completely different scene as opposed to just over my face or something like that on this scene, or over another overlay. So looking into that hopefully next month, potentially for cams. We're still waiting on stock to come into New Zealand. At this stage is looking mid next month. Well, actually no, mid this month, sorry, mid to late this month. So hopefully at the end of this month. But until then, we'll keep doing what we're doing. Or we may go to the new overlay with just the portraits up, and we'll see how we go. But we'll give it a shot. But anywho,
Or just give us some cameras and not hers. We don't need.
Well, the thing is, we can potentially use your guys' cameras because most of you have cams. We can go without nutty cam until we get one, which is quite something we can look at. I just need to redo that overlay, get the right name on it for one, and play around with another one as well, just to see which one would possibly look better for the community, which one they'd prefer, bigger or smaller cams. But apart from that, the only other announcement is that this will be the last stream for about 7 days, roughly a week. All next week there'll be no content until probably next Sunday night, maybe for our next session of D&D. So there'll be no gaming streams over on Mixer this week, and no Curse of Strahd this week. I am going to the dentist tomorrow to have all of my teeth removed, and having new teeth put in. So obviously tomorrow and probably Tuesday or Wednesday I'm going to be pretty sore, swollen, and talking weird.
And grumpy.
I'm always grumpy. That never changes.
I just typing.
So there is that. So that'll be like I said. So just keep an eye on the Discord and on Twitter. Hey Roast Chickens, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so just keep an eye on the Discord and in the Twitter for announcements on whether or not next week's D&D show will go ahead. I'll let the players know probably two or 3 days beforehand, because I'll definitely know sort of how I'm feeling and where I'm at, whether that will go ahead or not. But at this stage, no streams at all next week until next Sunday. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Very expensive, but it needs to be done, and I'm nervous, but I'm kind of pleased that it needs to be done. And once it's done, it's done. I just have to get through that initial pain, swelling, uncomfortableness while getting used to dentures and stuff. So that'll be interesting. But apart from that, that's about it for announcements. Yeah, I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth out when I was in my 20s. That was pretty bad. I was in hospital for that. I was in hospital for 3 days.
What are they?
You don't have wisdom teeth?
I haven't had them come through.
You haven't had them come through? Well, you're lucky. Holy shit. Mine were all impacted. They had to take them out in pieces. So I literally had to go into hospital and be put under general anesthetic to have them out. So it was pretty nasty. You only inherited half your wisdom teeth? Well, you're not very wise then. I was wise. I had all 4. And they all came at once. And it was horrible. Anywho, so without further delay, we will get into the recap from episode 39, and on that note, episode 40 tonight, guys. So 43-hour sessions we've had in this campaign thus far. You guys are still not level 10, so we're doing pretty well. We started out fortnightly, and then we moved to a weekly format. The story's progressed very, very well. Especially this year. I mean, Christ, we're in June, and we're still going. We're probably, I think I determined roughly another 5 or 6 levels to go before we sort of really looking at roughly where the end game, sort of planned end game is, depending on what you guys do and how you sort of approach it. Yeah, well, it depends on whether you get killed in tonight's session or not. But 40 episodes, I think it's done pretty well, and I'm pleased with how the story's gone. I hope the players have enjoyed the story thus far, and I hope the viewers have been enjoying the story as well. So hopefully we'll see some more story. What was that, Trash? What did you say?
Shit.
I feel like Alessandros is going to fall into another pit trap tonight, and maybe not make it out this time.
His vocal was cutting in and out for me there, was it?
Yes, that's why I asked what he said, because I didn't hear a thing. So I'm assuming he does not have his microphone on his face.
No, it's my webcam currently.
Well, that is probably why. Anywho, recaps. So last episode, you started the day. Inari decided to make breakfast. Not really succeeding very well, however, and the eggs were somewhat rotten and probably shouldn't have been cooked. Very, very salty. And some of you tried these eggs and left a very bad taste in your mouth. The coffee was bitter and not very nice either. So after all that was said and done, Alessandrist sort of salvaged some of the morning meal and came up with more serviceable start for the day. You then prepped for your incoming journey to the Tomb of Horrors, which was to the northwest, and an Aryan headed outside to prepare the horse and your wagon, while the rest of you sort of remained inside and sort of finished up what you were doing there. Everyone rejoining each other, you then checked over the map that Bash had left you, leaving clear instruction on how to find the entrance to the tomb. You set out. Het taking the reins this time with the wagon and leading the horses and the rest of you out to the tomb. On the note, it was said that you had to look for a large flat top hill, and only took you maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of traveling to discover exactly that. A large, sort of 300-400 foot wide, about 80 to 100 feet tall, flat top hill. As you approach this hill on the northernmost side, you did indeed discover the entrances to the tomb. The two false entrances which Bash had marked on his map, and the entrance that he had marked as being the true entrance to the tomb. After a little bit of discussion about what to do with the wagon and how to best secure it, Sadiq suggested removing the gudgeon pins from the wheels, which you did so without too many hassles. You proceeded to make your way into the tomb. Once in the entrance of the tomb, clambering over the partially caved in portion, you found yourselves in a long hall. Very intricate paintings on the wall and on the ceilings, the floor, coloured cobblestones with a very clear red winding path leading about 80 to 100 feet down this long corridor, about 10 or 15, about 20 feet wide, I think it was in the end. Following the path on the suggestion of Alessandrus to stick with this winding path, after experiences you guys have had in previous dungeons with traps and somewhat, you proceed carefully forward. Alessandrus then triggers the first unseen pit trap, not taking fall damage as her ring of slow falling managed to stop her from doing any serious damage, but catching a few of the spikes in the bottom as she hit the bottom of this trap. Sadiq aiding her in getting out with rope. You could proceeded further down the trap, marking the original. As the trap reset, you marked it with, I believe, some paint that the girls had. You then move forward some more, discovering, I believe you discovered another trap heading down, which was marked also. You get to the end. Large green devil's face in one end of this corridor with a large gaping hole in its mouth big enough for a person, and an archway leading into an unseen room filled with some unknown vapor. 3 keystones light up on the door frame, on the archway frame as you approach. And then strangely, you all hear a voice projected into your minds. An unfamiliar voice, a sort of whispering, echoey voice, offering you a riddle of sorts, which was put into the Discord for everybody, for the team and the viewers. I will reread the riddle for you. So the riddle was as thus: go back to the tormentor or through the arch, and the second great hall you will discover. Shun green if you can, but night's good colour is for those of great valour. If shades of red stand for blood, the wise will not sacrifice aught but loop of magical metal. You're well along your march. 2 pits along the way will be found, to lead to a fortuitous fall. So check the wall. These keys and those are most important of all, and beware the trembling hands of what will maul. If you find the false, you find the true, and into the columned hall you'll come, and there the throne that keys and keyed, the iron men of visage, grim do more than meets the viewer's eye. You've left and found my tomb, and now your souls will die. After some discussion, Inari, inspecting the devil's face, decides to see if she can find a lever or a handle of some sort, and places her arm and hand inside the gaping maw of the devil, only to be sucked inward with tremendous force. Tearing at the ligaments and bone at her shoulder, Sadiq and Het attempt to aid her, only causing more pain, deciding quickly to push her in instead of trying to pull her out, and in an instant she was gone. Seemingly vanished into nothingness. A short time later, Fiala discovers that Inari, sorry, not her, the Inari is standing back at the entrance of the tomb at this hallway, naked, not a stitch of clothing on, armor, weapons, rings, jewelry, gone. Arms still hurting and shoulder bruised. You then decide that maybe the chest is a better option. Moving back towards the other end, Sadiq remaining down by the devil's face investigating the keystones. Clothing was offered to Inari, as well as Alessandro's bow and arrows to allow her to defend herself. Once standing at the chest, Alessandro proceeds to investigate, not finding anything unusual about this bronze chest being seemingly held between these two painted figures. Presses the button on top, expecting to release a door, box lid, only to be spiked and then poisoned once again, and also once again triggering another pitfall trap, which she then falls into, impales herself on a large spike, and is rendered unconscious. Its quick thinking and ability to heal soon brings Alessandro's back to consciousness. Sadiq, using his rope, then retrieves her from the bottom of the pit. The door that it also opened revealed a small hallway with another door at the opposite end. Het was the first to proceed in. Then others followed. It then sends Kellican to check further in this little room, checking the door, eventually opening the door, leading to an even larger room which has a four-armed stone gargoyle at one end. Kellic then checking this room, bouncing around the room, checking for more potential traps, finds nothing, remains hovering in the room as Het enters, stepping first just across the threshold of the door. Nothing seems to go wrong, but as he takes that next step into the actual room, breaking the threshold of the small alcove, the gargoyle makes a loud sort of stone cracking sound as the outer exterior of the gargoyle cracks and breaks away to reveal a living entity which steps forward. And that is where we left our story last week, and this is where we rejoin our champions as they hovering in the doorway of this room. Het is now turned and looking into the eyes of this large, a lot larger than an average gargoyle, four-armed gargoyle, who eyes burning red, shiny sharp teeth, and it is now stepping off its small podium towards you, Het. And this is where we roll initiative, guys. So we're going to go straight into initiative So if you give me one moment, we will switch over to battle map. There is our map there. You are all sort of at the doorway. Het is inside. Kalek is hovering there, just in front of where the gargoyle is. Het sort of moved in and around to the left away from the gargoyle as he moved into the room, but the gargoyle has now taken sort of a half a step forward. And so we will need Alexandra's initiative, please.
21.
21. Well done. Het's initiative.
That is a dirty 20 for Het.
Fiela.
18.
18. Inari.
6.
And Sadiq.
19.
19.
Are
And
you letting them down?
can't hear you, Trash.
Bloody Mike. Ugh.
So, with that, Alessandros, you are the start of the initiative order. Het, I'll give you one reaction before Alessandros starts the initiative. So, as you sort of walk into the room, you step over that threshold of that room, and you hear this noise behind you. You spin and you turn, and you see this entity sort of stand up to its full height. 4 arms sort of not sort of reaching out for you, but sort of stretching out and sort of gripping, and sort of you can see the talons, real sharp talons, and the large leathery wings as this thing sort of stands up to its full height and takes a step towards you.
Really not. He's not going to use a reaction as such. Just sees it move. He just would like to aesthetically put his back against the wall, but facing not directly at the beast. The beast is made of concrete, correct?
It appears so. Like, it appears that the stone exterior is sort of broken away from it, and it's now looks more leathery to you than stone.
Yes. Het knows nothing about this creature, but is thinking if it's turned to stone, maybe it has some sort of ability to turn him to stone. So he puts his back to that sort of central column, but turns his face away as he prepares his spells.
No problem. So as you sort of step in back to that column, you're sort of not facing it, you're sort of half point, sort of glancing over your shoulder, as you then we move to the initiative order. Alessandros, you get first initiative. You, from where you are, you can't see the gargoyle at this point, but you hear the movement, you hear the shattering of stone, and the stone falling and hitting stone, almost like just sort of fine gravel and stones hitting other solid stone. You've seen Het disappear around to the left, and that's pretty much all you can see from your current position.
Hey, everything okay in there? What's going on?
Within the 6 seconds we've got, Het says, something is alive in here.
Where am I? Okay.
You
Can I-
are right about there. You're the one with the green ring around you because you are still poisoned, sir.
I'm going to wait.
You're not going to do anything?
No.
Okay. So you hold. You're going to hold an action, or you're just going to wait?
I'm going to hold.
What are you going to hold, and what for?
Movement, waiting for someone to go up to attack the thing.
Well, you don't know what anything is yet, so you need to tell me specifically what you're going to hold and what your trigger's going to be.
I can't hold my movement. And just wait to see what happens.
Okay, cool. And next up, it is you, Het, and Sadiq, you're on board after that.
Het pulls forth his loot, aims it towards the creature as he's facing away, and he says, light it up. And he casts Het's Cool Daylight, which is Het's version of Fairy Fire. Dex save for the beast, please.
A dex save. Let's see here. That will be a 17.
The beast saves. Cool light flashes up beneath it and then dissipates. Nothing else happens.
And exactly that. You cast the spell, it seems to fire. You believe that it's done its thing, but nothing seems to happen. And with that, have you bonus action movement?
Yes, it will move into the opposite corner of the room now. The corner with no doorways in it, and he will still sort of facing the beast aesthetically, but looking away.
Yep. No problem. You are in that far corner. Sadiq, you're up. Fiala, you're on board after that.
What's my amulet doing?
It is glowing the color for evil.
Right, I'm gonna go in. Just yeah, I'm gonna go in and attack it.
You're gonna walk in to see what you can see as you step through.
Yeah, step up to it and start attacking.
Yep. So as you get to the sort of threshold door, you walk in and you see this large creature sort of stepping down off a small stone pedestal. The rubble sort of laying around it, suggesting that it once was inanimate. It is now obviously animated, and you roll straight into it. And make your first attack.
17 to hit.
That does hit.
Alright, so it's evil only.
Yes.
Okay, that one.
And you had the Rite of Dawn up, I believe?
Yeah, I've still got that up. Well, I recast that after trash. Alright, so that's 24 damage.
24 damage. Well done, Sadiq. You watch as Sadiq comes in and strikes at the beast. Just sort of charges him, lashes out with his large two-handed weapon, and opens up a quite a deep wound across the chest and sort of upper torso. Doesn't seem to worry the beast too much, but it's definitely a substantial wound. And Sadiq, your next attack, I believe.
19 to hit.
That does hit.
When I do that, I'm also going to hit it with, I think, the brand of castigation.
Okay.
So whenever it attacks anyone near me, it will suffer 3 psychic damage.
So is it anyone besides you or including you?
Me and anyone that's within 5 feet of me.
Okay. Cool.
And that's 24 damage.
24 damage as well. Nice. 2 beautiful attacks from Sadiq as he comes in, again chopping away that same wound, opening it up even deeper. It doesn't seem to be any blood at all coming from this creature. It's definitely opened up a large wound through its leathery hide, and there's definitely flesh there, but there's seemingly no blood at all. It's kind of creepy, but it's definitely wounded. You've done movement, actions, bonus action.
Off the corner of my eye, I'm going to see what Het's doing, and I'm going to follow suit. I'm not going to look directly at the creature on that fight.
Okay. So,
well, he's doing it for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've obviously looked at the creature to hit it, because if you weren't looking at it to hit it, you would have done those, had to make those attacks at disadvantage if you weren't looking directly at it.
Not looking directly at it now.
Okay, so you did for the attacks. That's fine. Nothing happened. I was just making sure. And with that, Fiala, it is your turn.
I'm gonna moon shape into my bear form.
It is not nighttime. It is still daytime. You are still
Shit.
in the morning. It's
I
still
am
before
gonna
lunch. And you
wild
would know
shape
that, so.
into a cave bear then.
Beer! A beer! Right, I gotta find me beer. It's here somewhere. Beer, 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 beer. I was not prepared for wild shape. Slack DM.
God, what kind of DM are you?
I know, it's terrible.
He's a mean DM. Mean and cruel DM.
Right. You wild shape into a giant bear. Or a cave bear.
I am gonna move into the opposite. Can I move where that fairy dragon is, or
Yeah,
where
yeah.
imp?
Yep, he's floating. He's sort of hovering, so yeah, you'll be able to move into his way. I'll just move him out. So you
And-
move into the room.
I would like to multi-attack.
A little closer. Yep. But yes, you can attack with your bear. What's your bear's multi-attack? 2 attacks?
Yeah, 2 attacks.
Okay. Cool.
I rolled a 16.
16 misses.
Well, shoot.
And your second attack?
Nat 20.
Woohoo! Nat 20, guys. First nat 20 of the night. So as Fiala rolls in, she sort of rumbles, almost sort of bounds past you, Alessandro and Inari, as she wild shapes and sort of pushes past you and growls loudly as she enters the room, right up to the gargoyle, raises up and goes to swipe with, and hits the microphone, swipes with a paw, catches nothing but sort of tough hide with the first attack, goes in for the second and finds purchase. So maximize your damage and then roll your damage die. So whatever your damage die is max that plus another roll.
That would be 17 plus 9. Which
Whew,
is
holy
something.
shit, 26.
26.
26 points of slashing or piercing damage.
slashing.
That it finds purchase across that same wound across the chest, but across the other side as you rake down with your claws, opening up some smaller wounds, crossing back the other way. Creatures doesn't seem to be phased by doesn't seem to be worried about taking pain at all. It's definitely taking damage, although this damage wasn't as much as you would have expected considering the ferocity of your attack. Bonus action.
I think that bonus action was wild.
That's wild shape. Yes, it is.
So, yeah.
Yes. So you're done. With that, it is now the gargoyle's turn, who stands up to full height and will make 4 attacks at basically 2 at each of you. I think it's going to strike out with 2 arms at you, Sadiq. We got a natural 20 on one of them and a 15 on the other, with its modifier is where are we? +9, so that definitely hurts. Definitely hits. So we've got a nat 20 and a 27 hit. So you will take 20 points of slashing damage. Sadiq, and you will also take... No, you won't, not yet. No, you won't. Not damage taken at the end of the target's next turn. But you are bleeding heavily with some very deep open wounds. Fiala.
Yes.
You now take also 2 attacks. One is a 19 and the other is a 21.
Yep.
They both hit.
Yes, they do.
So you will also take 20 points of slashing damage. as the creature opens up some pretty substantial wounds across the back of your shoulders in bear form. And with that, that is its turn. Inari.
I want to move in until I can see what I'm going to be firing at.
Pretty much, the moment you step through the door, you can get pretty much line of sight
Okay.
on the creature.
I want to cast Hail of Thorns as a bonus action,
Done.
and I will have a go with the longbow. Now, do I have to take anything off?
Because of your injury, you will take a -5 to your attack roll,
Okay, so that's 17 to hit for the first one.
and you will not be able to use sharpshooter at this point,
Okay, yeah.
just for
that's
future
it.
reference. So 17 to hit, that does hit.
That's the first one, so I'll do the damage with that.
Roll all three. Roll all three to hit, so we'll resolve the whole lot.
The second one's 7.
That misses, and your third.
Ah, nat 20.
And another nat 20s. Jeez.
So that'd be 25 to hit without the 5.
That's fine. So your first and your last do hits. So your first do your regular damage with your Hail of Thorns, and your last do max arrow damage, and then roll your damage die again.
Okay, so it's 12, and then with Hail of Thorns, I'll just roll that. 1 extra damage.
So 13 for the first arrow,
13, yep. 13
and
for the first arrow.
your crit.
Would be 19 plus 8.
27 damage. As you draw your bow, and you feel it as you pull it back, you feel that you can't get a full draw on the bow because your shoulder tweaks as you do it, but you release that first arrow. It does find purchase. It doesn't do as much damage as you hoped. You draw your second, and
no, sorry, that was that was for damage. Sorry,
what?
the vicious longbow damage for the second one.
You're not using vicious longbow.
Well, it's the same as the bow that I've got. That Ali gave
It's
me.
a +1, yes.
Yeah. So
So what are you saying?
is I rolled to hit the second time instead of actually rolling the damage. So I only got 5 and 8, which is 12. Sorry, with that second hit.
Second one missed. You only rolled a
Third
7.
hit.
Okay, let's start again from the beginning. What are you saying?
I rolled all the hits.
Yes, and you hit with your first and your
rolled-
third. Your third one
Yep,
was a crit.
So the third one was a crit, and that was what I just rolled the damage for because I accidentally rolled to hit again.
So you
is where
rolled a
get the 19
d20 for
from.
your damage,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
Yep.
Stop taking drugs.
I am doing it on my dice roller. I hit the wrong thing. Shut up. So yes, so it was.
That took an awful lot to get that out of you. But okay, so what is your actual damage for your
My
crit
actual
strike?
damage for that is 5 plus 8, so that's 13.
Right, so it's not. It should be higher. Because your max damage on your bow is what?
1d8.
So that's
Plus 4.
8 plus 4, so that's 12, and then you roll a d8 again.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a crit. So roll a d8.
4.
So it's 16 points of damage.
Okay.
Sheesh, lady. Right. Now I'll get back to the explanation. As your first arrow does strike, but doesn't do as much damage, you draw your second arrow, intending on trying to pull that just that little bit more to get a little bit more out of it, and you tweak your shoulder and it fires your arrow wide. But you steady yourself, you take a deep breath, fight through the pain, and your third arrow finds the open wound that Sadiq opened up and buries deep, causing a substantial amount of damage. Again, no blood at all from this creature, but it's looking pretty damaged. Rest of your movement? No?
Nope. I'll just stay where I am.
Back to the top of the initiative order. Trash Man. Chandras, sorry. There's no Trash Man here. Who's that?
So can I get up next to that creature, or is
Yeah, you could. I mean, you'd be able to get in between Fiala and Sadiq.
Yeah, do that.
You are poisoned, so your attacks will be at disadvantage.
All right, so so moving up, I activate my sword.
You activate the fire damage, not a problem.
And start my attack.
Roll your first attack. All your attacks will be at disadvantage, so roll 2d20s and take the lower for your attack roll.
$14.
That is a miss, sir.
And for my second, I can do a second, can't I?
You can roll, yeah. For your bonus action for your offhand, you can roll a second attack, yeah. Or is your flame, to turn your flame tongue on, is that a bonus action? Oh, it is. So you only get the one attack, sorry.
Okay.
To activate your sword, activate your rapier's flames, it's a bonus action.
Okay.
So yeah, so you rock in, you activate your rapier, you go to strike out and just misjudge completely. The poison coursing through your veins causes your vision to blur for a moment as you sort of lunge forward with your rapier, and you just find nothing. You just seem to completely misjudge where this creature is standing. That is your turn. With that hit, it is back to you. Sadiq, you're up after hit.
Het glances around the group and sees that Ellie is suffering some wounds. So he points his loot towards Kilek, and as his action, he says, "I'm the medicine man," as he strums the loot. He fires Cure Wounds into Kilek, and as Kilek's reaction, Kilek will fly over and touch Alessandros, delivering the Cure Wounds. That is 14 healed wounds. That's Cure at second.
There you go. And Alessandros, flies down to you and sort of lands on your shoulder. And as he lands on your shoulder, you get this just surge of energy through you. And some of the wounds that you'd had received from falling into the pit trap, the hole that's currently in your wrist bleeding quite badly starts to close over. Almost completely closed now. Definitely feeling a lot better. 14 points. 14.
Thank you, whoever that was.
It was Gillick. Het will stay where he is.
Roger that.
But seeing the group has not turned to stone, he will now face at the beast directly.
Does so. Walls are moving.
That is all for Het, thank you.
No problem. Sadiq, it is now your turn as you face this beast. It has opened up some nasty wounds just across the top of your neck and into your shoulder with its attack. It is now your turn, sir.
Alright, so it's taken the 12 points of psychic damage, correct?
Yes, it has.
16 to hit.
That misses. Your first strike. You hit it, but it catches it with one of its arms, and it seems to almost, the top of its arm seems to almost be as thick as stone, and you get that sort of kang as it strikes off and glances off. Your second strike.
That would be 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
For 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. My sounds aren't working the way they're supposed to. Again. Here we go. Let's see. Working now. 18 points of damage. As you strike out with your second blow, and the creature, you almost sever one of the creature's arms. One of its four arms that sort of reaches up, tries to defend the blow, but it doesn't really calculate it very well. And it doesn't quite sever it, but it's pretty deep wound on one of its right arms.
And then I'm going to quickly down a health potion.
Okay, bonus action, health potion.
Yep, and then wait for the next lot of onslaught.
And at the end of that turn, the wound on your neck and upper shoulder burns with an intense pain, and you will take, sir, a further, where are we, 7 points of bleeding damage, as your wound seems to be a lot deeper than you first anticipated. And with that, Fiela, it is your turn.
Gonna go for a multi-attack again.
Certainly can. Fiela Bear rears up on her hindquarters, strikes down with both claws.
26 to hit.
That hits. And your bite attack.
My bite attack's probably gonna miss with a 13.
That does miss. But you do strike with your claw attack. Roll your damage.
There's a 12 piercing damage.
12 piercing damage. You strike down with both claws, raking across the front of this creature again, and it sort of rocks to one side and almost down to one knee, but then sort of steadies itself, looks back at you, almost completely emotionless, doesn't growl, doesn't really make any noise, but it's still standing. It's not looking too good, but it's still standing. And is that the end of your turn, Fiela?
Yeah, that's the end.
And you will also take your wound also just burns with searing pain, and you'll take 13 points of bleeding damage as the wound has remained completely open and bleeding. So with that, it is now its turn once again. And with that one arm sort of not quite being severed, it tries to raise it. It can't really do much with it, so it reduces its attacks down to 3. But it pretty much gives... it's going to... I think all attacks at Sadiq, being the person that's done the most damage in this round. So 3 strikes at you, Sadiq. We have a 26, a 22, and an 11.
2 hits and a miss.
So 2 hits and a miss. You will take 20 points of slashing damage and another 16 points of bleeding damage as you just strikes the exact same place, across the top of your neck, down your arm, opening that wound further. How much psychic damage does it take from striking you?
3 with every hit.
3 with every hit. So as it strikes with the very last blow, reopening that wound and causing that bleed to just be more sort of flowing, and you got a lot of blood now running down your neck and arm into your armor. The creature sort of stiffens up, sort of partway through the gore, the claw still in the wound, and once again petrifies in half attack motion. Its claws are still in the open wound, holding it open, so you are continuing to bleed.
Well, I'm going to carefully remove myself from it and then do a medicine check on the wound to try to, patch it up.
So to remove yourself from it, you sort of I'd say you know enough about where it is and sort of how it feels to remove yourself. I'd say you probably take another 4 points of bleeding damage as you remove yourself from the wound, from its sort of claw, and it does open the wound a little bit further. Roll a medicine check for me. Are you proficient in medicine?
Yes.
With advantage, or actually no, add your proficiency modifier.
That would be
15.
correct.
With that, you sort of put your hand up and you feel the wound in it. It's a big wound and it's deep. And you sort of have you got a medical kit at all? Have you got a medicine kit at all on your?
No, unfortunately. I don't.
You sort of hold your hand there, put a bit of pressure on it, knowing enough about wounds and stuff. So I'd say you definitely slowed the bleeding. You haven't stopped it, however. You don't have anything on you to really pack the wound properly to stop it from bleeding. But you've definitely slowed it down. But with that, we are out of initiative, guys. So we will switch back to the main scene. So you are now out of initiative. Fiala and Sadiq have both taken some pretty substantial wounds and are both bleeding. Sadiq more so than Fiala.
Just a question, with this poison damage that I don't know I've got, do I need to do any constitution checks during all that?
Not at this point, no. All you know is that you are not feeling the best at this point. And you just don't feel yourself. You don't have that normal sort of physical ability that you would have, hence the disadvantage on attacks and stuff. But at this point, you're not sure what's causing it. You just know you're not feeling too crash hot. You'd probably put it down more to your injuries than anything else at this point.
Het looks around and he sees his companions bleeding and he says, I believe some of you are, if we keep this up, are headed towards cemetery gates. I have some packs here, but we also have some healers. Let's get some of these wounds attended to, eh? And he brings forth a healer's kit for Sadiq, and then he takes one over to Fiala as well to stop the major bleeding. Can he perform these checks as well if he needs to?
Yes, if you are proficient in medicine, you can make a medicine check with your proficiency modifier to see if you can help him pack his wound.
That's 19 for Sadiq's wound.
And yeah, you have a look at it and you can see that it's very deep and it's really nasty, and you know it will continue to bleed if not appropriately dressed. And with your medical kit, you find the appropriate bandages and gauze and packing, and you pack the wound and you dress it, and it seems to slow the bleeding down to a point where you don't think you'll take much more damage.
And it proceeds to do the same thing with, is it Fiala that's bleeding?
Yes. I'll allow that same roll. You sort of look at her and her wound.
Because I rolled a natural 1.
Her wound's not as bad. It's you can see just even by looking at it that, and you know enough about her now that her wild shape, it probably doesn't really matter too much. That the wound isn't going to affect her as such. It's more the bear form that it's going to be a problem if she decides to stay in it.
Okay, that is all. Het is happy if they've stopped bleeding.
Right, team, you are now in this room with this entity, now frozen in a state of petrification once again, and you are unsure whether it's still alive at this point. It seems to be completely inert again. What are we doing, guys?
Looking around the room.
You see exactly what you saw before. The gargoyle's sort of standing there doing its thing. A couple of doors in the southern end of the room.
I do believe it had a shiny
It did.
necklace of some sort.
You are correct, Fiala. It had a collar on which had, if you were to remove it, had 10 gems of a reasonable size in it.
Were they of any in particular color?
They were all bluish in color.
What do you think, guys? Could this be one of the key?
Say so, yeah. Right, let's take it anyway.
Good old Alessandros.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take the collar off the creature.
You take the collar off. You reach up. And yeah, you find the catch. It looks like almost like a regular dog collar in some respects. Chat. This is what they just fought, by the way, and this is what they pretty much see standing now, inanimate again. But yeah, you remove the collar without any problems.
All right, cool.
Nothing happens.
How big is the actual collar?
The neck of the beast was pretty wide. So if in sort of reference, looking at Fiala, it would probably go round Fiala Bear's neck.
All right, so I'm gonna stick it around Fiala Bear's neck, and then now she's got a shine.
And yeah, the collar, it fits quite nicely. Just remember, Fiala, you're in bear form, so you can't talk.
Wait a second. Oh, it's too late. He's put it on. Maybe I should see if that's magic first in case you just cursed her.
Too late, he's put it on. But you can still check it.
Hit
Oh,
shakes
no.
his head. Oh my god. This group. This is feeling like another game altogether. Hit uses a few moments to detect magic on the item.
And you spend your moments detecting magic, and nothing really happens. Nothing lights up apart from the items that your team is currently wearing.
Looks like we're safe for now, but next time we want to try on some jewelry in a mystic dungeon of traps, maybe we should check things first. No offense, Sadiq, but you usually are far more rational.
Must be the blood loss.
Oh, Sadiq as well.
that's
As you put the collar around Fiala Bear's neck, you notice your fingers caught on something just on the inside of the catch as well. It felt like paper.
Gonna pull the paper out and hand it to Het.
Hit holds his hands up and says, No, I'm not touching it. You check it first.
Well, okay, I'm gonna hand it to your imp then.
Now we're thinking. Kilik, grab that bit of paper and hold it up to me so I can read it, please.
And Collect does so. Nothing happens when he grabs the piece of paper. He sort of flutters towards you, sort of hovers there like a little fucking harpy hovering in the wind, and sort of unfurls it and sort of holds it in front of you, and it's nothing that you can read. It looks kind of magical in nature. It's in some form of runes that you can sort of tell. It's just a whole bunch of sort of symbols and letters, and right beneath the runes, the letter A in common is inscribed, but that's the only letter on that whole parchment that you can read.
Just checking. Hit has deep speech, draconic, and Kilik has infernal. It's none of those.
It's none of those.
Hit can't read this. It is chicken scratchings of some description. Anyone else?
What's it
I'm
in, sorry?
gonna have a look at it. I can read Infernal Orc and
I can read Infernal as well.
So Sadiq, you got Infernal Orc in common. You can't make any sense of it either.
I've got Draconic, Elvish, Infernal, Primordial, and Common.
You also cannot make any sense of it.
I have goblin and undercommon plus thieves can.
You've Alessandra's roll intelligence check for me, please, with your proficiency modifier. The base, yeah. So whatever your D20 plus your intelligence plus your proficiency.
That would be 18.
18. You've seen something like this before. You can't read it, but you seem to have. It's definitely a form of rune, and you know that it's going to take something more magical to possibly read it.
I'll let the others know that.
Let them know then. They're standing right there. Let them know.
Guys, this
Yes.
thing need magic for it. Any ideas?
Show it to Fiala. Het, can you telepathically still talk to Fiala?
Yes, Het. Well, Het can speak with animals as well. If I telepathically talk to Fiala DM in common, will she understand that?
She'll understand it, but she won't be able to reply. If you use speak with animals, she will be able to reply to you, and you'd know that.
Het will speak with animals instead, and say to Fiala, "Have you got any idea what this would be? Can you read it, or do you have a spell that would maybe help us read this?"
And you're able to reply as if in common.
Am I able to read this? I speak Dwarvish, Druidic, Elvish, and something else.
It looks kind of familiar to you. Almost druidic. It seems to be sort of a mash of druidic and something else. So the only words that you can make out on there that are in a really old form of druidic language is high for gold and the word untold. The rest of it you're not sure of.
What was that? High for gold?
High for gold. And then, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 12 words there. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth, fifth, and sixth words is high for gold. Then there's a comma or a break. And then there's 3 more words you're not sure. And then the last word is untold. The rest of it you can't understand. And there's another sentence, another couple of sentences under that, but you just can't really read it.
Het, I recognize some of this is old Druidic, and it seems like it says high for gold, and then there's a comma, and then I can read treasures untold, but that's all I can read out of this. I don't know. I don't have any spells. I don't think that can help.
Okay, understood. Het looks it over one more time and says aloud, "Is this a message in blood? Is it DM? Is it written in black or blue or red?"
It's in standard sort of parchment ink. It's pretty old though. The whole thing looks pretty old, but it's in standard ink by the looks of it. Some of it's a little faded, but it's definitely ink.
Het might hold on to this. It may be some sort of clue to something else later. Is that cool?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
by all means.
Okie dokie. And Het folds the paper up and puts it into a pouch on his belt.
Roger that. So you now are standing in a room with a couple of doors in it. And
I'll check both doors for traps.
you
Then recheck.
so
Recheck them.
the door you came in is the one here on the right on the map here. The door the 2 doors you have are down the bottom here.
I'll check both of them for
I'll
traps.
check both of them for traps. I just realised my overlay's right off. Fix that.
while he's fixing that, Head is glancing around the
There we
party. Do we notice that Alessandros is ill?
She doesn't look physically ill. She looks drained, and I mean, she's still got wounds from falling into the pit trap. She definitely doesn't look herself. Like, she's not perky and kind of that. She's
Would I don't know, medicine check give us an idea of, her true sickness or like how she is?
roll medicine check with your proficiency modifier, and at advantage if Het's going to give you a hand.
Yes, Het would, as he is very proficient with medicine as well.
So yeah, with advantage plus your proficiency.
That would be a 15.
She definitely looks unwell. You can't really determine what could be causing it. The medicine check's more about the body than it is about anything else. You look at the wounds, they look like they're healing okay. Her eyes are a little bloodshot, but you're putting down just her current state is down to the wounds that she's inflicted by falling into the trap.
What about alchemy? Alchemist.
That's more for
Type.
detecting the an actual potion, or like if you were to discover a bottle that you believe to be poison, with that you may be able to determine what type of poison it is. But at the moment, you really don't have any clue that she is suffering from anything else apart from just basic physical injuries at this point.
So I'm going to say to her head, look, there's something not quite right. She is, I don't know. It's just, she doesn't seem right.
Yes, agreed. Let's, between me and you, keep an eye on her.
Can do.
Right. So you're going to
I
check
don't
the
mean secretly, I
doors
just
for
mean we
traps.
know,
So I mean, you're saying this out loud, so everyone that's there can hear this. I mean, Alessandros, you can hear it. If you've got anything to say to them about your condition that could possibly lend any kind of insight, that's up to you.
They care for me. Oh, joy, they care for me.
No, we just need someone to jump into traps so we know where they are.
You fulfill that role quite proudly. Oh, and also you sometimes detect them.
So
They detected no traps with the last one. Get over it.
amputation at the neck. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So with that, Alessandros, you want to check the 2 new doors that you have not yet been through or checked for any kind of trap mechanism.
Yes.
So the first door, we're going to do 2 checks here. So the first door, which is the one to the immediate left as you came into the room, roll an investigation plus your proficiency on that one.
19.
19. That appears to be safe.
Okay, which doors was it that I checked?
That was
That
the
one over there.
I say the very first door you come in.
All right. Let them know that this door, as far as I know, has no traps.
I will give you a visual reference here in just 1 second. So the door you just checked is this one here. So the immediate one, that one seems fine. Doesn't seem to be any kind of trapping mechanism at all on that. And you now want to investigate the one at the southern end of the room. Roll the same investigation check.
And 19 for that one.
And same thing, you check it over pretty thoroughly, and you strongly believe that both these doors are not trapped.
In that case, I will try and see if the door is the one that the first one I checked. See if it's locked.
No, it's not.
Open the door.
As you push open the door, you find yourself looking into a 10-foot by 10-foot room. And that's pretty much it. It's empty. The same stone floor, ceilings, and walls as the room you're currently standing in. But it is empty.
Alright, check the room for traps. I'm going to regret it.
Roll your investigation and your proficiency, because of proficiency in thieves' tools.
19. Damn, I'm doing well.
Another 19. You check around the room and there doesn't appear to be any kind of trapping mechanism in this room either. You sort of push on the floor a little bit, checking for that kind of thing. There's no buttons anywhere. Seems pretty good.
Alright, so if that, I'll just go in and check, see if there's any hidden compartments, chambers, whatever.
And an investigation. This one's just a straight investigation roll. No proficiency for this one.
Alright, come on, 19.
$19?
Yep.
Wow.
Those dice are loaded.
Someone's cheating up in here, guys. Nah, kidding. But you look around the room and doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. I mean, the stones all look much the same. There's no real discoloration. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything that you can see.
Alright, go out and check the other door, see if it's locked.
It is also unlocked.
Opening the door.
You open the door and again you see a 10 foot by 10 foot room. This one has another door at the opposite end.
And check the room for traps.
Investigation.
With proficiency, yeah, that word.
With proficiency, yeah. When you're investigating for traps or picklocking, because you are proficient in your thieves' tools, you'll add your proficiency just on those ones.
So that's 28.
Whew, Jesus. That is a good check. And there is no traps. It is clean as a whistle. And you're 110% sure that there are no traps in this room.
Okay, so check the other door for traps.
With that roll, you would have I'd say you would have checked the entire room, including the door. And yeah, that one is locked, however.
Okay, so let's pick the lock.
Again, D20 plus dexterity plus proficiency.
This is not going to. Yeah, 12.
You spend a bit of time. It doesn't seem to be a difficult lock, but for some reason you just can't quite get it to budge. Roll a d6 for me.
Six.
And as you go, that like you sort of think, no, I can get this, and you go to turn that last little bit, and tink, your lockpick snaps and is now broken.
Ah, crap.
Did we hear him say, "Ah, crap"?
I would say so, unless he was trying to hide it. Yanti, you're a bear. Shush. I saw that in the chat.
I suppose I've got a set of lockpicks, so I've got another one I can try. Yeah.
I'll allow it for now. But if you break another one, that'll be it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go for a second time.
You try again.
Plus proficiency, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's better. 23.
Still takes you a little bit because you had to sort of fish out the broken end of your original pick inside the lock. It sort of wedged itself in there, so it took you a little bit to sort of fish that out. It takes you about 10 or 15 minutes, and sort of twiddling. This lock is a lot more difficult than you sort of anticipated by looking at it. But finally you do hear that that beautiful sound of the lock giving up its secrets, and it does unlock and the door swings open a crack. Posture check. Make sure you're all sitting comfortably. You two viewers.
So, with that, I guess I've got the door open a little bit.
You do?
Can I see what's in there?
You can. It is another 10 by 10 room. This time, as you sort of peer through, no door at the opposite end, but there is a door on the right-hand wall.
Just feel free to take over anytime, guys. If you want to have a go at all this, or do you want me to carry on? Anybody?
At checking the door?
You're a bear.
I think to myself.
I would have a go.
Ellie, you're doing so well.
I'll give her a
I'm
hand.
happy.
Alright, just checking.
What are you going to give her a hand with, Anara? You have nothing.
Okay. No, I can't. Sorry. Keep forgetting that.
So check that room for traps.
Investigation. And proficiency, because you're checking specifically for traps.
28. I rolled a 28.
28. You are 100% sure there are no traps in that room.
Okay, check the door, see if it's locked.
It is not locked.
Open it a bit and see if I can see anything in there.
Have you got your goggles on by any chance?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so there's no, as you sort of get into this room, it's getting darker as you go through, because there's no light from Sadiq's sword. Het's light has probably gone out by now. So it's starting to get darker and darker. So as you get to this room, you can sort of only just make out that it looks like another 10 by 10 room and a door on the right hand wall again. But it's starting to get quite dark. Is your rapier still lit by any chance?
Yeah.
Did you put it away? Because if you put it away, your pants would be on fire.
No, I didn't put it away.
How did you then unlock the door with two hands if you had a rapier in one hand?
I guess I put it away without the light.
That's what I thought. Just had to make sure. So it is quite dark in here. So you're now probably struggling to sort of see where this goes. But it's another door leading to the right once again.
Het will pull up his loot and say, I shall help out. I'll show you. This is the art of shredding. And he goes, and the loot lights up at the end.
And that echoes quite severely in the small room, the small stone room. The acoustics in here are not too bad, but it's a little echoey and it sounds kind of cool.
There you go, Ali, and everyone else. We now have some light to help out. Let me know if you want me to turn it off.
And now you can see more clearly that it is a 10 by 10 room with another door leading to the right. And all these doors look exactly the same.
So I go up through. Okay. The first door that I went through, down south, right?
Yep.
Then another door down south.
So you went through a southern door straight through to another southern door, and then you turned to the east, which was to your right, coming downwards, and you've now in another room, and the door in this room is heading north.
Okay. Check that room for traps.
Roll your investigation.
Five.
You're 100% sure there are no traps.
Check the door.
Just before that happens, Trash, you take 4 points of piercing damage as a crossbow bolt lodges in your upper shoulder, your right shoulder. Where is everyone else standing at this point?
Het is still back at the first door. He did not enter anything.
Has anyone entered into the room following?
Nope.
Because if you're only in the first door, the light won't reach the room that Alessandros is in, so it'll still be quite dark.
Het would have taken maybe one step forward to light up the loot as he was heading to the next door, but that would have been all.
So you're in the first room.
Yes.
You'll also take 4 points of piercing damage as a crossbow bolt fires from above you, striking you in your upper shoulder.
4 points. Noted.
So I'm 100% sure, am I?
You are 100% sure there are no traps. There are no discernible traps. You got hit with a crossbow bolt. A very, very. It's not a huge crossbow bolt. It's quite a lot shorter than a regular one, but it was very, very sharp and it hurt a lot.
Can I see where it came from?
You look up, because it's quite dark. You really can't see anything. Even with your goggles on, it's really difficult to make out sort of where it may have come from.
Pull my sword out, speak the word to light it up, and hold the sword above my head so I can see.
You in the ceiling, you now notice just a series of holes, and sort of every 6 or so inches there is another hole, and the whole ceiling is just covered.
I'll check the previous rooms.
As you head back through the room you just came from, same thing. As you move towards Het and the light in that room, as you're sort of looking up, I dare say Het, you'd notice him looking up, and you'd probably do the same. And again, ceiling full of holes. As 6 seconds has probably passed again, you both take another 4 points of piercing damage, as another series of bolts fire, hitting you both.
Out of the room at that stage.
I'm getting out too.
What are we doing, guys?
Viela is clawing at the door on the left of the room we were originally in.
I was about to say, I think maybe we should try the other door.
Het telepathically speaks to the bear.
That door is open, by the way.
Fiela, you want to go through that door, you're saying? Is that what you're getting at?
I think the riddle mentioned something about left and then left, so I think we should make lefts.
And the other group just here.
Pretty much.
So just talking to Fiela, guys, and she's reminding us of the riddle or the message we got, left and then left. So should we maybe have a look left instead of getting shot with these arrows? Because I've got a couple of arrows sticking out of my leather armor now.
They look more like darts to me, but yeah, left and left sounds good.
Oh, is it darts? Het pulls one out and looks at it.
It's
What
pretty
does it
much
look
a dart. It looks like a heavy crossbow bolt, but about half the length.
Oh, in that case, can I go back in that room to the left again and check it for hidden doors or something again?
I would say you probably can't at this point.
Right.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me, because I just
Awesome.
realised that all your throws should have been at disadvantage because you're poisoned.
Does Het
So
feel
you're lucky.
anything- Does Het feel anything from the dart other than the pain?
No, it's just
I'm lucky,
Just
am
pain.
I?
you were lucky because all those rolls
No.
should have been at disadvantage. So
No, I'm not lucky.
what's your
No.
Constitution save? And that's at disadvantage too, by the way.
Just go with the first roll that I threw, the only roll, because you're gonna love it.
That one.
Yep, gives me 2.
And that one, critical fail. And with that, Alessandros, you collapse on the floor, unconscious.
Whoa, this is a new level. This whole place is fucking hostile. I mean, let's back up. This is... God, what's going on here? Everyone, hold your mouths for the war.
I think we need to walk out of here.
Did Allie collapse
Nice.
in the room
You're a bear.
with the... I'm asking my gods. Did Allie collapse in the room with the holes still firing, or is she
No,
safely with
no.
them?
Everyone moved out of that. that room. So everyone is back in the main chamber with the gargoyle at this point. It was Ali she went to step forward back into the room, the first room she investigated, and collapsed before she hit the threshold of the door.
I have the weirdest feeling that she is poisoned.
Roll an
By
intelligence check for me
something.
with advantage. Because of your skill as an alchemist and a soldier and your time with the Blood Hunter Order, I would imagine that you would have some knowledge of these things.
That would be a 26.
You check her over, you pull open her eyes are rolled back in her head, and all around the white of her eye is just a real sickly greeny yellow kind of color. And with that, you pretty much straight away, she's definitely poisoned. You're not sure what type of poison, but it's enough that it's now rendered her unconscious.
I'm going to open her mouth and feed her the potion of cure poison.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Het if he can detect what type of poison, or do something about, Lister restoration, something, or something.
So you feed her the
Magical.
potion of cure poison. Roll a d6 for me.
Two.
And with that, she swallows it. She's unconscious, still breathing, but she managed to take the poison down. And her eyes sort of flutter and open. She regains consciousness. Her eyes still have that sort of sickly yellow greeny color around the edges, but she seems more responsive now. Alessandros, as your eyes sort of open, you got this real horrible taste in the back of your throat as you sort of sit up and sort of swallow the rest of what's sort of sitting in your throat and in your mouth. And as you swallow that potion, you do start to feel better. You're not sure what happened. You just fainted and you basically passed out. You're not sure why, but you're feeling better at this point.
Whoa, what happened, guys? Why are you all standing around me?
You fainted.
Yeah, you fell down like a girl. Oh, wait, you are a girl.
Give him a big sloppy lick up the side of the face.
Thanks.
Now you two are poisoned.
Aaron, yeah. No, that's like licking one of those toads.
Poison dart toad.
To answer your question, Sadiq, other than my own medical skills, I have a single scroll of a lesser restoration, but I'm not sure if it would achieve anything. What did you give her? A poison cure alchemy?
Yeah, the
thingy?
one we had two cure poisons, but the Nari's one is now in the void, or wherever the hell her gear is. So that was the only one we have.
Okay, Ellie, how do you feel after taking that tincture? Do you still feel affected by whatever that was, or is it subsided?
No, I feel fine, but there's a freaking awful taste in my mouth. What was that shit?
Oh,
Swallow.
Sadiq urinated.
I had to flush your system somehow, and
It's like the jellyfish sting thing. We talked it through and everyone thought it was the right idea.
Okay.
Roll deception with advantage, you guys. Sadiq, roll it with advantage with Het's help. Deceive Alessandros into thinking she just drank piss. Basically.
Ooh, 16.
Do I
Roll a
get to
d20.
roll?
Roll a d20, just a straight d20.
Nat 20.
Yeah, you're onto it enough that you figured out that they're just taking a piss.
Literally.
Not literally, but and you are trash. You are no longer poisoned.
Yay!
Ellie, how does Ellie look? Ellie, are you still
Her
hurt?
eye, yeah, she's still looking reasonably rough. Taken a couple of arrows herself, plus damage and the spike trap and stuff. And you've done a couple of heals here and there, but she's still looking a little beat up.
I should be right for the time being.
That's good because my Beyond overlay isn't working very well.
Cheats!
I usually ask anyway, but
That's all good. So yeah, guys, what are we doing? Actually, before we do anything, hold that thought. 9 o'clock, we'll take a short recess, and we'll be right back after these messages, and we will have a quick Q&A for anyone in the chat that wants to ask any questions about the players, about myself, about the game, about the campaign, and then we'll get back into it. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Two.
I need coffee. I think I'll 5 minutes.
And I'm back.
dun dun dun.
All right, chat. I am back.
Me too.
So, chat, how's everyone doing this evening? Glad you could stop by and hang out with us. Roasted Chickens, good to see you, buddy. For those who don't know, Roasted Chickens is a member of the Lost Chapters stream. Those guys are doing Curse of Strahd and Lost Mines of Phandelver over there on their channel, doing some module stuff. Potato Shot Aura, what's up? So definitely go check out those guys. More than likely we'll probably be raiding them after this anyway. We normally do. As I said, guys, just to reiterate what we said at the start of the show for those that weren't here, this will be the last stream for the next at least sort of 5 or 6 days. I'm going in for dental surgery on Monday, and we'll need some time to recover. So possibly back here for the Paradigm Bold homebrew campaign next Sunday. I'll play it by ear. I will post it on my Discord and on the Twitter if it's not going to happen, so just keep an eye out for that. But apart from that, no Curse of Strahd this week, no gaming streams this week. And when I come back next week, I'm looking at potentially putting back a painting stream on the Twitch channel. I've got a whole bunch of minis that I've got to paint. I've got some crafting I need to do as well. I want to make some candles and little candlestick holders and stuff. So I've got a few bits and pieces I want to get through, and I thought I might do them on stream. So keep an eye out for that as well. Again, I'll advertise that on the Discord and on the Twitter. Come and hang out. We'll play some music and we'll do some painting and talk about crafting and D&D and all that cool stuff. And all my gaming streams will be over on Mixer too, guys. So mixer.com/Evldoa if you want to hang out while I play some Warcraft, which we're playing a lot of World of Warcraft at the moment. Skyrim, games like that. You check out my gaming channel over on Mixer. But I'm back. I don't know who else is back. It sounded like Het was back.
I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah, we're back.
Everyone back except for Alessandros. 3, 2, 1. Nope, still not back. But yeah, so have you got any questions about the players? Characters, classes, races, just about the players in general? Give you a quick rundown. Alessandros, aka Trashman, or Darth Trashman, from Australia, has been gaming. I've been gaming with him on and off for almost 5 years now. We've got Miss Fiela, who's also American, living in Australia. Get that right. Her partner Sadiq, aka Mr. Pecker, also from Australia, and Anari / Neymaris / Nutty Tart, my partner, who's also with the campaign. Most of us have played before. Yanti has not played D&D before. This is her first campaign, so she's new to the D&D world, which is kind of awesome. Oh, Kitty Cat Zappy, we know you, Cat. I wondered what the meow was, and then I recognized the name. What is a favorite moment for each PC character for you, for me so far? As far as the PCs, the moment that my team decided to murder Neymaris will probably go down as one of my favorite moments in the whole game thus far. That was planned out by 3 of the players, and they sprung that on me, which was really freaking awesome. That was not last session, the session before. I just think I enjoyed the whole game. The transition with Neymaris going to the dark side. Het's a really interesting character. Just his 3-way multi-class, which you don't see very often. And I think just the team as a whole, I think every player has done cool things and have come up with interesting ideas to add to the story. And players are still fleshing their characters out too, so there's still a lot more backstory from 2 or 3 characters to come. I'll say that much. And we've got some really cool stuff planned, so no, Nutty Tart's nutty. Yes, the Het and Fiela relationship has been interesting. The fact that everyone thinks there's a relationship is kind of cool. There may not be, we don't know. Assumptions are real, guys. That's all I'll say. But with that, we got is Trashy back?
Yes.
Yep, cool. But yeah, so just put it this way, we got some interesting stories to come. We got a little bit of fleshing out with some backstories still with some characters. Obviously, unfortunately, we've lost one of our main PCs, which was Neymaris, due to circumstances and reasons. And if you want to catch up and find out what all that was, go back and check out the VODs, which are all available on my YouTube, guys. !YT in the chat. It'll be spamming from time to time as well. But definitely go check out the YouTube. The Curse of Strahd VODs will be there also. Should be a lot of fun. So with that, we will rejoin the lines of Valond, having just healed poor Alessandros, who collapsed under the poisoning from the pit trap spikes and the spike trap that in the bronze chest had left their mark on her and had poison coursing her veins. She became unconscious, and remove curse potion and a little bit of healing. She seems to be a lot better. So you guys, you have now 2 open doors in front of you. One that was to the immediate left as you came into the room, and the other just to the south. With investigations, you've discovered that it was just door after door after door, and it seemed to be trapped, doing some minor damage to both Het and Alessandros. What are we doing?
Well, someone else can check that room again, seeing I couldn't find anything. Anybody?
Which room?
Rar?
So, just to give you a reference again, guys, just to help you out a little bit here. So, the room to the immediate left down here is now open, and there is a 10 by 10 room with no doors, or no apparent doors. Alessandros did go have a look in there, but could not find anything. And this is the door where the trapped rooms are.
Because I'm a shit broke and can't find shit.
Alright. I'm going to do an investigation on that left room.
Does anyone want to help?
I can help with investigation.
You really can't. Well, I suppose 2 people could fit in that room and investigate. What are you specifically looking for? Investigation is very specific, so you have to be...
Okay, I'm investigating to see if there's any traps. And then I'm going to go and investigate to see if there's any hidden doors.
The traps thing, Alessandros is pretty certain there's no traps.
How about you check one side and I'll check the other for doors that are hidden. And we'll look up as well.
That works.
Okay, so I'll need you both to make an investigation roll, and we'll do an average based on that.
11.
19.
Ooh, this is going to be a tough decision. Do you find anything or do you not? With an 11 and a 19. Considering 19 is what Alessandros rolled as well. I would say you don't find anything that looks discernibly like any kind of door, but you do notice on the south wall there seems to be a real fine sort of crack in one of the stones, almost invisible. You sort of barely noticed it as you were sort of looking around the room. It just sort of caught the corner of your eyes. You sort of turned back towards the door. Steak caught it.
I caught that?
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to point at the crack and I'm going to say to Ellie, I'm going to give you 5 minutes alone with this crack.
Hey, you're stealing my fucking lines.
Carry on, Sadiq.
Are you trying to push drugs on our rogue there, Sadiq?
Carry on, Sadiq.
Sorry, I had Yanti yelling at me. What was that?
You're a bear. Shut up, woman.
Yeah, so here's the door. Work out how to open. Ellie.
So now that it's been pointed out, can I do an investigation on
Yes,
that
you
area?
can. You can, and it's not at disadvantage. So this is just a straight investigation with your proficiency, because you're investigating for a hidden entrance of some sort.
Can I re-roll?
No, you cannot.
Okay. So do I add my proficiency to that?
You do.
Okay, 12.
You look at it and you're looking at this crack and you think, it's just a fucking crack. What the fuck's Sadiq on? It's just... But then you put your hand on it to sort of see if the crack, sort of how big it is, whether it looks like it's man-made, and your hand passes through the stone. As if the stone
that's
wasn't there.
cool.
I'd look out for things like that if I was you.
You're not in there though, or did you stay behind?
Sadiq and Ari are probably both around the doorway, so they would see what you're doing.
Hey, did you guys see that? Hey,
Just be careful.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yes, we saw that. Also, I'm gonna look up at the roof. Does that have the holes like the
Yes, it does.
other room?
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna point that out to Alexandra's. What about the room that we're in? The big one that had the thingo in.
No, it does. They don't. There's no holes in the current room you're in.
Okay, so this is our safe room. Pretty much.
I agreed. The one without holes in the roof is definitely the place we won't be slaughtered.
You think?
Inari,
Yes.
would you like to have a look at this wall for me?
I was just about to say I might just grab out an arrow and poke it in.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I learned the first time.
I'll step to the side.
So you take out an arrow and you push it through what should be solid wall, and it passes right through. About 2/3 way down the arrow stops. Find another solid wall behind it. But it's probably about 8 inches, 8 or 9 inches deep.
Is my arrow still intact when I pull it back out?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to put my hand in. No, I'm not. No, I am not going to put my hand in.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'll give you a split second to change your
I
mind.
tentatively reach out to put my hand in and grab the arrow again and kind of go sideways as well and see if there's any other.
I try and determine what size. It seems to be about a sort of a foot wide by a 9-inch deep hole behind there. It's as you sort of move the arrow around, you find it hits other. There's something else in there too. You're not sure what it is. You can't see it. That, like, whatever's there, the illusion that's there has remained opaque as you pass through it. It's not dissipating.
Hey, Hit,
Yes.
do you have any detect magic left on you?
Well,
Or dispel, maybe?
Dispel not so much, but I can detect magic if you just give me 5 minutes. Oh no, 10 minutes.
Smack break.
I think we can do that.
So Hit does his ritual version of the detect magic spell and cast it.
And after 10 minutes, you sit there, you sit down and make your ritual and mutter your arcane words, and the spell fires. You walk into the room and see nothing.
With my extreme sight, even without the magic sense, do I see anything else?
Just a 10 by 10 room.
So
You've seen, they've showed you where the illusion is, but for some reason the detect magic's not detecting it.
Okay.
You could go up and place your hand on it if you wanted to and feel that it's definitely there, but it's not showing up as magic.
No, Hit reaches into his pack and pulls out his compass. He flicks it open and he holds it in the middle of the room, sort of moving it around in direction. What is the compass doing?
It is spinning uncontrollably. It is just continually spinning.
Okay, so there's something weird in this room. My compass is continuously spinning.
What's it doing in the other room?
Hit walks back into the normal room without the holes and sees what it does there.
It continues to spin.
Hit doesn't show them, but he says, it just points at Fiala.
Mhm.
It's very weird, this place. It's making the compass act weird. Hit turns the compass over and looks at the bottom of it and makes sure there's nothing broken from the battle or the darts coming down.
Everything looks to be intact.
Well, everything looks to be intact.
You okay there? You look a little bit confuffled.
How about I just send Collect through whatever this
Um,
invisible wall is?
Sounds good.
Yeah, before you that, DM, was I there when Het had that conversation with Bash about the compass wouldn't really work now?
Trying to think. I don't think you specifically were there. Anari was there. Actually, no, you weren't. You were dealing with Namaris's body. No, you weren't. I think. No, you weren't there. Anari was there. Alessandros was there, and Het was there, and I think Fiala possibly as well.
I'm just letting him do what he thinks best.
Actually, no, Fiala wasn't there either.
Yeah, I thought it was the breakfast where he was drunk and sleeping in.
Yeah.
Fiala is trying to paw the collar off her neck.
Row. Row, row.
Now I'm gonna look over at Fiala and go, is the collar itching, or why is Fiala trying to pull the collar off?
I'm now scooching along the floor trying to get the collar off my neck.
Yeah, so you see the Fiala bear sort of scooch down on one shoulder and sort of push forward trying to scrape this collar off. Sort of scraping a head and shoulder across the floor.
Hit uses Speak with Animals and says, Fiala, either you have worms or you're trying to tell us something. Good call, Blue Jay. I didn't see that either.
It's not scooching a butt across the floor, guys. Come on, get your minds out of the gutter.
Well,
Brainwood.
You've got earworms, okay?
feel like if this collar's blue wasn't the archway with the colors blue, maybe that activates this hole in this room. You think?
That is a good idea, Fiala. Hit turns around to the others and repeats what she said. Blah blah blah. Now, are you
That
saying
was the keystone. The keystone was blue, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
The other two were
I think
orange
she's trying to say
and
that-
yellow.
I think Fiala's trying to say that this thing around her neck could be a keystone. Do we actually know if that is a reference to?
Well, if this is one of the keys, wouldn't we need all three?
Hit does not know. Hit is not that intelligent.
Okay, we'll do. How about we try this? Get Kelek to put the necklace, like touch the necklace to the blue keystone.
Okay.
But first, get Kellic to go through the invisible wall.
But first, who's still standing in the room with the holes in the roof?
That would be me.
Oh, that
Not Hit. Hit
Yep.
walked out to the other room with his
So,
compass.
Alessandros, you're
I'm
still in that
still in
room? And Anara, you're still in that room? Dexterity saving throws from you both, please.
dirty 20.
You'll take 2 points of piercing damage as a volley of bolts, not just one this time, a volley, releases from the ceiling. Trash, what was yours?
Okay, so I'll give you what the check was. Do you want to know
That's
what
a
the
save.
roll was?
It's a save. Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. The save was 7. Do you want to know what the roll was?
Yes, did you roll another natural one?
No! No!
Another nat one, guys, from Trash. That's 2 nat ones from Alessandros tonight.
Fuck, you know, I'm gonna die.
So you'll
Who's
take
the roller?
6 points of piercing damage as you get hit with 4 bolts from the ceiling, and Anara, you get hit with 2.
Did I just hear someone say use the roller? The
Yes.
one that's on the webpage?
Yeah.
That's what he is using.
What do
Oh.
you think's I'm doing?
Maybe stop
You're
using it.
cursed.
Tell me about it.
But yes, you both sort of you don't hear anything. You don't hear like thump thump thump. They just instantaneously you just get barraged, just hammered with these darts.
It was only 2 points, eh?
2 points,
Not
yeah.
22.
Yeah, you
Okay,
managed
just
to.
checking.
As pretty much as soon as you sort of realised that Alessandro's got hit, you managed to sort of dive, but you got caught in the leg. A couple got hit you in the legs as you sort of dove out of the room. Alessandro's, however, went to move and just didn't move fast enough. Maybe feeling the effects of the poison still a little bit, and just couldn't
Yeah, we'll
move
go
fast
with
enough.
that. Yeah, we'll go with that.
How is my shoulder feeling? Because I have a funny feeling that I may have landed on it.
Roll another deck. Actually, roll another deck save to see if you landed on your shoulder as you
16.
dove out of the room. No, you're good.
Okay.
You're a soldier. You know what to do when it comes to sort of things. So you managed to sort of throw yourself out of the room and on sort of almost break falling partly on your back inside. So, back to your plan. Talking about Kelek and what he was doing before.
Collect through visible wall.
Without the necklace on.
That being said, DM, how often is that barrage of darts? Because it's happened a couple of times.
It has happened a couple of times. Roll. What am I going to get you to roll to see if you can determine that?
Yeah, is it only when we're in the room? Because they're not firing all the time, right?
Anyone who wants to determine either time frame between them or any kind of sequence, an intelligence check for me, please.
Hit rolled, but it is just a 5.
It's a 5.
Dirty 20.
So hit, you're not really sure.
10.
18.
19.
No, 19. Yeah.
19 and dirty 20. Fiala, you're a bear. You can't roll anything.
I can tap out numbers.
Yeah, 19.
19. So, yeah, both you and Sadiq sort of, you sort of think, well, happens regularly when someone's in the room, and if they spend, seems like a sort of 12 to 15 seconds, something seems to happen. Just based on like the discussion you guys have been having with Het and Alessandros coming through the other rooms and being struck, and it didn't trigger until you hit that last door.
So with that, we've worked out rough time frame when this happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's about let's say between 6 and 15 seconds.
Yeah. Can you get Kelek to go through that invisible wall, please?
Right. Kelek, come here.
Yes, master.
I need you to go through that. I need you to go through that. What they're describing as an invisible wall, but we need to wait for the darts to fire from the roof, and then as soon as they're fired, go through.
I can do that, master.
Okay, you can do that.
So you're gonna wait to see if the darts fire first.
Correct.
You stand at the doorway. You wait. 6 seconds. 15, 20 seconds. 30 seconds, a minute. 2 minutes later, nothing happens. 5 minutes goes past, still nothing.
Okay.
Can I kind of make a suggestion here? I look at the group.
Absolutely.
If there's nobody on the floor in there, it looks like they're not firing. So maybe it's something to do with the weight.
Well, Kelek can fly through the wall and not set them off, possibly then. Kelek, go now. And he sends Killick without any further waiting.
And Killick flutters across the room and flies through the
He sounds like
illusionary.
Silence of the Lambs.
flies through the invisible barrier, and nothing seems to happen.
Can we still see him
No,
clearly?
you cannot.
He just disappears.
Disappears behind the illusionary block.
Hit sits on the floor and goes into Killick's head and sees what Killick sees.
What Killick sees is he's basically standing inside of a foot wide by foot high, sort of 9-10 inch sort of deep hole in the wall, if you will, just like a little compartment, and inside is a hinged lever.
So Hit cannot see nor hear the group, but he can speak, and he says,
Again.
I can see a hinged lever.
Killick can't pull that lever, can he?
Tap me on the shoulder twice if you want me to pull the lever.
Oh,
I
gonna
tap him on the shoulder twice.
See, you 4 taps on the shoulder and you don't know what you're doing.
Hit assumes that 2 taps and 2 taps is pull the lever twice, so Killick, pull the lever twice. Is Killick able to pull this lever?
Make a strength check for Killick. And in which direction is Killick going to pull the lever? It looks like it is multi-directional.
Oh, so up, down, side, side, are we talking?
Yes, it looks like it's the way that it's hinged. It looks like you can pull it up or move it up or down, left or right, and it looks almost like it could be pulled in or out as well, but like
Left.
pushed in and pulled out. That's well.
So he's going to go, thinking of the poem or the quiz, he's going to say to Killick, or make Killick, left and left.
And your strength check.
Killick rolled 14, so take away 2, that is 12.
12. So with that, you watch and you hear the lever sort of squeak a little bit as it looks like it probably hasn't been used for a while. Sort of go, and he moves it to the left, lets it go, and it resets back to the middle. Chunk, and he pulls it again. Chunk to the left, resets back to the middle, and nothing happens.
Try pulling it.
Hit relays to the team. I pulled it left and nothing happened, and it returned to the center. Looks like it can go up, down, and side to side. Hang on a minute, and Hit pulls out of Killick's vision because he cannot hear what they're saying otherwise.
Can you pull it or push it?
Yes, it seems to be push in and out, up and down, and side to side, I believe.
Try pushing
Correct.
it.
Well, the fact that nothing's happened to kill it in there, would it be prudent for one of us to go in there and see if we
After
can
you.
determine what this... Okay.
Yes.
Do you think you can fit in a 1 by 1 foot square box, Ellie?
Don't need to fit the whole person in.
How big's Killick?
He's not big.
Like an owl or a small bird.
Okay.
He would easily fit.
He fits in there snugly, but he fits.
Fiela raises on her hind legs and raises her paws up toward the air.
Hit recasts Speak with Animals and says, Fiela Bear, you wanted to talk to us, say something to me. Let me know what you want.
I think the runes in that letter said something about high and untold treasure. Maybe I don't know if that has to do with the traps, but maybe we should go up.
So just switch the switch up once.
Maybe it wouldn't hurt. Well, it could.
While this is going on, I'm gonna go. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go back to where that other room was, where it had that portal with the keystones.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
The keystone's all deluminated when you walked away from it. That's one thing you did notice. And as you approach them again, they re-illuminate as you get within sort of 10 feet of the archway. And it's still keystone at the top, still the same. Blue at the top, yellow on the left, and orange on the right.
Het remembers a game from his childhood where everyone had to remember a directional sequence to do massive combination damage like a karate fighter, like down, down, back, back, up, up, and then you would press a button. Het wonders if it is something like this. No, that seems far too hard. Never mind.
No, it could have been. You might be onto something. It might be like a combination lock.
We just need the combination. Hang on a minute.
Push in, push up, pull out, or pull out, push up, push in.
Het pulls in scratchings from his pocket. What do the scratchings look like? Are they like up, down, sides?
No, they are not. It's just that they look like runes, like or glyphs or runes, but nothing seems to correlate with any kind of sequence.
Kelek has, and Het would have had it in there as well. The extreme vision. Well, Kelek's not quite as good, but is there anything on the walls within that space that Kelek can see to give a clue as to which way would work?
Roll a perception check for me. Or is he actively, or are you going to make him actively look for it?
He's actively looking,
Okay,
yes.
investigation then.
That's pretty good. That's a dirty 20. You rolled a 19 plus 1.
Nice, dirty 20. So sort of Collect looks around this little room that he's sort of standing, or not, this little alcove thing he's standing in, and looks above him, and he does actually see, just on the inside, what looks to him from his perspective a up arrow and something and a dot.
Het relays this to the team. Hey, Kelek is telling me telepathically that he sees an up arrow and a dot on the brickwork. I wonder if the up arrow is push the lever up and the dot is either push in or pull out.
I'd go with push in.
Is everyone in agreement? Fiala, scratch twice on the floor for yes.
Sounds good to me.
Scratches
I
twice.
think I think we should do it, not Collect, because there's been a lot of times that he's done something and nothing's happened, but we've walked in there and then something's happened.
You make a valid point. Kelek
Fiala,
and Kelek slips back. Sorry, Fiala.
Fiala nudges forward to go. Not going all the way, just nudges forward to let him know that I want to go.
Fiala nudges forward. I think an animal that means she wants to go all the way.
Might need to go to the bathroom or something. Wants to go.
Does she need to go out? Go potty?
Really?
Het casts speak with animals and says,
Go for a walk?
Would you like to flick the switch, Fiala?
Yeah, I've got nothing to lose. Some of you guys are lower health, so I'm gonna go.
Fiala says she would like to flick the switch because you all look like crap and can't handle yourselves out there. So she is going to do it.
Fiala nods, yes.
I'm gonna look at Het and go, why? I have this sneaking suspicion that 50% of that was exactly what she said, and 50% of that was something you said, Het.
Het flicks open the compass and he looks at Sadiq. He looks at the compass spinning. He says, the compass says, yes.
Oh, it's a magic 8-ball now. Awesome.
Okay,
What
Fiala.
is this magic 8-ball
Walk.
you speak of?
Walk. I got that one. I'm gonna walk forward towards the thing, and I'm going to. Did we agree in or out?
So
Up and push.
And
look,
then
look up
in
on the brick.
push. Do I see anything different than
Well,
what Collect sees?
You don't see anything because all you can see from the outside is the illusionary block. Even putting your hand into it, you can't see past that illusion.
All right. Het will telepathically say, up, and then push it in.
I do just that. I go up and push it in. I push it up and then I push it in.
And with that, you all hear an audible clunk from inside the wall. It's quite loud. It sort of echoes through the stone, and then Fiala, right before your eyes, the doorway basically materializes. It turns into an archway. The illusion drops. The mechanism which you just had the lever you just had your hand on sort of disappeared from your grip, and you're now looking at an open arch into another 10 by 10 room with no doors.
All right, I'm gonna look back. They don't see that, do they?
Depends on whether the guys followed you into the room or not. If they haven't, from the doorway, they better see it. It's only a 10 by 10 room. So if anyone's standing in the door, they would be able to see what is what you see is just it's an archway into another room.
Het is a little disappointed, but at least something. After Inari's naked appearance, Het was hoping something similar.
You wanted to see a shaved bear?
Oh wow!
No.
Shaking my
Don't answer
head, I'm
that.
going to walk in with my sword out and investigate this new room.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate too. Also checking for invisible walls as well.
So you're going to physically put your hands on the walls as you go in?
Yep.
Where is everyone going to be at this point? Is everyone going to move into the first room?
Het will stay just in the opening of the first room to wait and see what happens to everyone else.
So Fiala's in the first room. Sadiq and Alessandros have now moved into the second room. And Ari, where are you?
I'll be with Fiala.
So you're in the first room. So you light your sword up. It brightens things up quite nicely in these small rooms. As you walk forward and knowing what you know, you check the ceiling, and again, the same series of holes in the ceiling. Alessandros starts moving around the room. Investigation check from you, Alessandros, as you move around the room. And everyone that's in the two rooms at this point will need to make a dexterity saving throw.
17.
You take 2 points of piercing damage.
Oh, that one.
You take 6
no.
points of piercing
No.
damage.
15, it says. What is that?
Because you were plus 14 on your dex save.
No,
Didn't it?
it looked like in that one on the dice, but the dice roller says 7.
Must have been a 7 then.
Okay,
That's right. So you
15.
take 2 points of piercing damage. Deep.
I got an 18.
2 points of piercing damage, and Fiala Bear
6.
4 points of piercing damage. As again, a volley of bolts fire from the ceiling, unheard. They make no sound until they hit the floor.
These rooms, DM,
Yes.
is there like a archway between each doorway? Like, is there a safe space in the doorways?
Yeah, it'd be like probably less than a foot. It's only a few inches. They're not the doorways. Oh, it's probably probably more like a foot. Each wall seems to be about a foot thick.
Okay. How long across each room? You're saying sort of 10 by 10?
Each room is
spacing.
10 by 10.
Hit Misty steps to the doorway of the in between of the next room.
Okay. Alessandros, what was your investigation?
Investigation 16 plus 6, that's 22.
22. And as you move around, even after taking the piercing damage from the bolts, you sort of and your hand finds another illusionary gap. Again, you can't see into it, but your hand passes through the illusionary gap on the south wall. And again, inside you do feel a similar lever to what was in the first one.
Hey, could we get Kelly to go inside, see if we can see any more markings?
Affirmative. Killick, and Killick comes back from the void. He says, Killick, You can go through to the next room and look for more. Oh, the next space and look for more markings.
Killick does so, and he telepathically relates to you that this time there is a almost a full circle, but it has an arrow on one end, almost like the sort of circle and arrow that you get on a web page that resembles refresh, basically. That same sort of symbol.
The lever this time, is it still up, down, side slots?
It still looks like it can be moved up, down, left, right, pushed in or out.
Can it be moved in a circular motion?
Certainly try.
Okay.
Unless it turns.
While this is going on, the doors themselves, how sturdy are
There is no door in between the two rooms. It's just an arch. But the doorway leading into the first room that you went into, they look pretty solid.
hinges, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Would they be able to be taken off said hinges?
They are not half barrel hinges. They are closed barrel cast hinges. So it would take some doing to potentially get it off its hinge.
Hit relays the information of the lever to everyone as well. Is the circular motion to the right or to the left?
It looks like it's to the right, looking from his perspective.
Yeah, so Hit relays that to everyone, and then telepathically to Fiala Bear says, if you are willing to do the next lever, it is a circular motion to the, what do we say, to the right.
Yep.
I'm gonna nod and walk forward to the lever and turn it as said.
And once again, as you grasp the handle, are you still a Fiala Bear?
Has it been in 2 hours? 3?
It'd still be the bear. I mean, I was just thinking, would a bear really be able to turn a handle? Because bears don't have opposing thumbs.
Bears have, like, they grab berries and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, this is a lever in a small hole, not a berry.
They juggle in circuses. I mean,
this is not the real world. They don't juggle in my world.
I'm gonna pop out a wild shape. And
I'm just let me think about it for a second. Fiala, roll a d6. We'll determine this with determine this with a dice roll. 1 to 3, you're able to do it. 4 to 6, you can't do it, and you would have to dropped out of bear form.
5, so I drop out of bear form.
Yeah, so you would have dropped out of bear form for the first mechanism.
And I'll do the lever as it.
And as before, you turn the lever to the right, and how do you make a full rotation, half rotation, quarter rotation? How far do you turn it?
So it's a full circle, like the loading screen. So it has a middle, right? So I'm gonna turn it full rotation.
Full rotation, and when you reach the end of the full rotation of this little lever, again you hear that audible clunk, and the illusion reveals itself, and you are now faced with another arch leading into now a third room.
How long has it been since the last volley happened?
At this point, probably about 6 or 8 seconds. And with that, I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, except for Het, who's standing in the arch.
Excellent.
Not in that room. I'm in the other room trying to work out how to take a door off its hinge.
Okay, so except for Sadiq as well, who was checking out the hinges. So you were checking it out from the outside of the room? I'd assume you would do that, because you're not stupid. So
It is a 3, but I rolled
so
one.
anyone under 15 will take 4 points of piercing damage. On a nat 1, you'll take 6. Those that succeed, anything over a 15 will take 2 points of piercing damage. And yes, we had another nat 1 chat.
So we've got a rough time frame of whether these arrows are going to happen now, yes?
Yes.
All right.
That's why I'm trying to pull the door off so we can use it as a shield.
Yeah, no problem, Sadiq. We'll catch up when you get here.
So you're now looking at, you've gone through that one, you're now into a third room. Again, 10 by 10, no doors.
And do the same thing again. Also
By
keeping an eye on the time.
Now you don't really need to investigate. You know what you're looking for. I'll pretty much forego the roll for this room. You pretty much go straight to the south wall, assuming that this is pretty much how it's going to happen, and you almost immediately find the same thing. Same type of lever, same opening. Again, Het, do you send Killick to investigate?
Yes, he's looking for the same lever instructions to let Fiela know.
So he looks inside. This one is a little bit more worn, a little bit hard to read, but it looks like it has a hollow circle and a arrow up.
Okay, this one has a hollow circle and an arrow up. I guess if a spot was push in, maybe a hollow circle is pull out. Are you happy to do that again, Fiela?
Sure thing. I'm gonna walk up and
as you do that,
do this one.
you pull the lever back towards you, and you feel it physically sort of click as you pull it back, and then you push it up. Push it down, sorry. And no, push it up. I got that wrong. And again, same thing. That illusionary wall disappears, and another archway appears. And now this time, instead of a 10 by 10 room, you look in, and you have now a 10 foot by 30 foot hallway with no door. If you sort of walk in there, you turn to your west, which is to your right, and you've got a 30 foot long corridor of sorts, and again, no doors, and still holes through the ceiling as well.
Still working on the hinges.
Het turns around without walking out of his safe space. Can he see the internal side of the hinges from here?
Yes, you can.
Het says, I'll give you a little aid, and he casts sub-freeze metal, which is the opposite to heat metal.
Definitely. All right. And we're going to roll for that. Is there any kind of... There's no real save.
It's a damage spell as such, but it would freeze the metal as opposed to heat metal, like the spell would say.
Okay, roll... What's the damage on it?
3d8.
Roll your damage. Because it's not movement. It's not you would not miss it. It's a freaking door.
That's 16 total.
16 points of damage. I'd say with the super freezing of this old cast iron hinges, they definitely sort of become very brittle. You notice it almost instantly. It's almost like placing liquid nitrogen on it. And it looks very brittle now.
I'm gonna whack it with my hammer.
You got your blacksmith and hammer. You got to give it a good twack. Just roll a quick strength check for me. See how hard you hit it. Add your proficiency, being a blacksmith.
17.
And with that, you give it a good solid whack, and yeah, those hinges shatter. And you now have a rather heavy, 1 foot wide, 6.5, 7 feet tall door with iron strapping on it. So it's not light.
Hold the door, Sadiq.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the door.
Make a strength check for me.
Someone else to get on the other side, to hold the other side.
Who is going to aid?
Now you need the bear.
Het misty steps over to the where Sadiq
Now,
is.
is your misty step hit? Is that a daily thing, a short rest thing?
No, it uses spell slots.
Uses spell slots? Okay, dokie.
Correct.
Cool.
21
I
on
can't
my
help
strength
my
check as
shoulders too sore.
Okay, so 21 on strength check. Yeah, you have no problems holding your end of the door up without any hassles at all. And you're going to help Het?
Yes, Het will
So
help.
we'll need a joint strength check from you, sir. in the meantime, everyone that is still inside those rooms will need to make another dexterity saving throw.
I've taken cover in one of the arches.
You have?
Yeah, I just
24.
pulled the lever. I don't think I've entered it.
You would have passed through into probably the next room, I would imagine, to see what you've seen.
Alrighty, then I'll take it.
Okay, so Inari 24, you take 2 points of piercing damage, and Fiela,
16.
You are 2 points of piercing damage also. As
And
the
then I
next
step
volley,
back into the archway.
as the next volley of arrows fire.
At that volley of arrows of just fire, I get searching the area for hidden.
Okay, so
Walls.
with that, we'll just switch back to Hit and Sadiq. So you now have this door. You both. What was your strength check? Sorry, Hit.
A 7, but I'm going to use my DM's inspiration to
Okie dokie.
roll it.
No problem.
Oh crap! Never mind, it's a 5. It's still pretty bad.
So Hit, you go to pick it. You can pick it up, but you're physically struggling with the weight
My
of
loot's
this
in the
door.
way, my bag's in the way.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of a struggle. You can get it up to sort of waist height, but you can't seem to get it up above your head. Sadiq, you notice that Hit's struggling with this big heavy door.
Hit, in your bag of tricks, do you have something that can lighten the load?
That is a good question. Let me check. It does not seem like it, unfortunately. This
Well,
door is
crap,
very
man,
heavy.
lift!
Put your back into it. I am a musician and an artist, and less of a hitty thumpy sort of creature. I thought I would give you a hand, but I guess I was wrong.
Your heart was in the right place.
Back to Alessandros. Roll your investigation, looking for. I'm guessing you're looking for another illusionary section in the walls.
23. Plus proficiency, so.
Yeah, you don't really need your proficiency for this. It's just a straight investigation. And you know what you're looking for, so the DC is quite low now. You find it without too many hassles. You just literally walk around the walls, holding your hand along the wall, trying to find this thing. And again, right at the very end of this corridor, in the end wall, you indeed find yet another illusionary block. Posture check.
And with that, I head back to the arch and wait for the others to get here.
So we've got Alessandro's in one arch, Sadiq and Hit back at the main room trying to figure out what they're doing with this door. I think Inari's still in the main room,
No,
the first room, or in the second room.
arch.
Oh, you went under the arch in the first room?
Yeah.
And Fiala's in the third room. So Yayla, you will need to make another dexterity saving throw for me.
12.
That will be 4 points of piercing damage as another volley fires. Make another strength check for me, Hit, in a last-ditch effort to see if you can lift this door.
Yep, that's a flat 10.
10.
Oh, I tell a lie. Pick up the dice and the light. It's a 16.
16. Okie dokie. So with a 16, I mean, with a 10, you would have probably just managed it. It would have been a bit shaky, but you would have got there. But with a 16, you sort of muster all your energy and strength, and you manage to lift this door above your head and sort of rest it on the sort of horn spines that you've got on the back of your head. It takes some of the weight, so it actually comes in quite handy.
There we go. I just took a deep breath, Sadiq. Now I'm good.
And Sadiq, you have no problem
Alright.
just powering this door up above your head.
Shall we
Right,
walk it through?
Now we can walk it through, and we've got a little bit of protection, I'm hoping.
Yeah, you could probably get another 2 people in between you guys to walk through.
Yes, well, let's hope strength beyond strength I can hold this up, because I don't want to fall into a hollow or anything stupid like that.
No, I'm thinking once we've got a couple of other people underneath it, it's going to become a lot easier to hold. This is kind of a makeshift type deal.
So with that, you all move forward. Who moves forward with Sadiq and Het under the door? And
I'll
Alexandros
jump
is
in
in
and
the
give him a
last
hand.
archway, so.
I'll
Oh.
give him a hand too.
Yeah.
So you both, how tall is everyone, by the way?
6 foot.
You're 6 foot? Like, that's tall for a female elf. Holy shit.
5'7".
So Fiala, you're probably going to struggle a little bit to get your arms up high enough to match probably Het and Sadiq. So I think Het and Sadiq
Yeah,
are
Het's
around 6 foot as well.
Yeah, I'm 6'2".
Yeah, so Fiala, you're probably going to struggle to reach it, but you're quite comfortable being under it. You're quite easily being under there.
Hair,
Yes.
what's your strength?
Well, I do a lot of working out with my loot and my backpack. What I mean to say is, for a dragonborn, I am a runt of the litter, you might say.
Because we're going to need your friend again to go have a look at the wall over there, see if there's a lever, and see if you can tell us what to do next.
Oh,
And I'm assuming you can't do that while you're holding a door.
well, I mean, he can go and do what he likes.
Well, you
while I hold the door.
didn't return him to the
No, I did
pocket
not. He's
dimension, so he's still floating around.
No, he can do that. He is like my third arm.
But you need
Third
to
leg,
know,
you could say.
does he have enough nouns to work independently from you?
Yes, I just tell him what to do through my mind, or I could tell him vocally. But you've heard his voice. He sounds like a horrible beast looking for some strange artifact to, steal from regular people. He's horrid.
Can you change that? Because you can change his form. Can you change his voice?
Unfortunately, that's the voice his mother gave him. That's what he was born with. Terrible, terrible thing to be born with, I guess. But that's why he doesn't speak much.
You go.
Sign language.
So you're all under the door, and you're still in the
Yep.
arch, Alessandros?
Yeah.
Another volley of arrows fire. Sadiq and Het, I need you two to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage, because your hands, I would assume, are on either side of the door and above the door, hanging onto it. So you do still run the risk of taking some piercing
No,
damage.
I'm kind of holding
you're
it on my
underneath it.
head and balancing it on either end.
Yeah, hands up flat on the bottom. That's what I was
Okay.
thinking too.
Just wanted to make sure.
But there was a few of us under here. We might need more door.
Oh my god. The innuendo, the puns tonight, guys. Jeez. So you move forward. You instruct Collect to do the same as he did before. He finds the little hole and crawls himself in there, looks up on the top of it again, and this time he just sees a very faded, looks like to him an upwards arrow. He sort of tells you he's not 100% sure, but that's what it looks like to him.
Het?
Sorry, Het was thinking forward. Het relays that message to you so you know what's coming. Yay.
So yeah, so with that,
Het is struggling with door.
do
Hold door.
you instruct Collect to pull the lever? Or use the lever, or are you going to get someone else to do it?
Collect has to make strength checks when he pulls the lever, right?
Yes.
Is everyone happy for Collect to have a go at the lever, or would you like to do it again, Fiala?
By all means, go for it.
Yeah, you can go for it if it works.
Okay. Collect, please pull the lever in the direction of the instructions.
And strength check.
Collect gets 6.
It takes him a little while. You wait, a few seconds goes by, nothing happens. A few more seconds, and you're starting to think, shit, maybe he's not able to do it. And then you hear that clunk, and he literally appears in the archway as the illusion sort of fades and everything disappears around him.
Sneaky leather. It was tough.
And you are now faced with another 10 by 10 room with no door.
No door.
Or door.
Okay, Killick. Fly around and see what you can see again.
And because you know what you're looking for, you're instructing him to find it, and without any sort of hassles, he finds that next alcove, and this one has 2 levers in it this time, not just one. And looking around it, he sort of sees again the scratchings, and it's not like it's painted, it's like it's been scratched in, like someone's left instruction here that have come through before. And you could probably assume it might have been Bash or someone from his team, since they've possibly been here before. And this time it's 2 arrows pointing, 2 dots, sorry, not 2 arrows.
Can Killick reach both levers at once?
He could possibly reach them, but he'll need to make another strength check to see if he's able to operate them.
It doesn't ask the group this time, he just tells Killick to try.
And strength check for Killick, please.
15.
Yeah, these ones seemed a little bit less problematic, as Killick sort of pushes them both in simultaneously. And once again, as you guys move forward, and who's not under the door, because only one person can't fit under the door.
I'll be in the archways.
You still need to get 30 feet from one arch to the other.
Basically, I assumed that if Head's getting Kellic to do it now, I'm just going to sit in the archways while the others can sit under the door.
So you're just going to wait in that archway until everyone sort of moves forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Again, the wall basically fades away and melts away, and another archway appears, and a 10-foot by 20-foot corridor, again with no doors.
You love your no doors, don't you?
Hey, this is just it's part of the tomb, man.
How far are the walkers of the door getting?
If you've been moving forward sort of systematically, you're probably at the end of the 30-foot corridor, moving in through the door, through the archway, which is only just wide enough for these doors, mind you. And you're probably going to take from where you are now, because it's a right-angled turn, you're probably going to struggle to get the door still above your heads through the arch and around the corner through the next archway. The room's only 8-foot door, 10-foot room. Yeah, you might be okay. It'll be a bit of a squeeze, but you'd sort of have to sort of move in and sort of shuffle around and try and move it around.
Maybe we should start waiting in the archways as in between these volleys.
Who did we lose?
Go through the doors.
Oh, no. Dungeon audio went AFK.
I'll do it.
I guess I don't mind doing it.
Fiala can do the archways. Inari, you stay under the door. You can help hold the door up.
Oh, that's true.
The further we get, the more easier it's going to be for Alice Chandras to do her shadow step from doorway to doorway anyway.
Yeah, because the further away you get, the dimmer it gets for her, so you're correct.
That too.
So I think us being under the door and Ellie just following us up behind is the best way to go.
Alrighty.
So again, just to save on a bit of time, Killick finds the hollow. This time the marking is a leftward arrow. And just roll a quick strength check for me. Or Killick, please.
He rolled a natural 20. That gives him 21.
And yeah, just almost instantly, almost without even instruction, Killick just pushes the lever, and again the door melts into this wall melts into a doorway, an archway, and you now find yourself again faced with a 10 by 10 room, no doors apparent. Killick moves forward on instruction, moves forward to the next roll, finds a much bigger section, and it looks like a door on the other side of this now illusion. It has 7 studs in a row, and they all look like some form of mechanism that could be moved. Looking around, there doesn't seem to be any kind of instruction on a particular door.
Holes in the roof.
No holes in the roof in this final room.
All right, cool. How many doorways have we gone through?
You've gone
Why
through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so there's 7 studs. We've gone through 6 doorways. Is anyone getting where I'm going at?
Keep going. I like the train of thought.
The going left, assuming left to right, the first one would be what the first door was, then the second, third, fourth, fifth. But there's got to be a pattern, which means we need to guess what the 7th one is because of that.
Is there not something in the clue about a key and keyed? I'm confused. I can't. Is this some sort of?
If you need to reference it, guys, it is in the Discord.
That is for a columned hall.
Oh, this is not a columned hall,
And
is
a
it?
throne. No. But there is a left and left. So
Well, we've gone left. We've taken the left door, and we've gone through these crazy hallways. Anyhow, what?
Can I do a investigation on this door with all these studs on it?
Well, you're right at the back, and if with what you guys said before, you would still be standing at the last arch, and the group would be standing in the doorway when the very last arch. So you'd be an archway behind them, waiting to shadow step forward.
True. Okay.
So you wouldn't actually be able to see what they're seeing. Who was in the front with the doors? Head or Sadiq?
I was at the end.
Okay, so you were behind, so you would have been in front. So you would be the one seeing. You wouldn't be able to see it, but Colette would be able to relay that information to you. Everyone else, all you guys will see is the wall. So you have the information. Yeah.
Anyway.
So you have the information. So you're relaying it back. So you could probably discuss it from where you are, Alessandros, with the information being passed back through the group.
Yeah, Hit would call out so they all hear. Or no, he can't touch his room because he would drop the door. Oh, we can drop the door, right?
In that last room, there is no. You sort of notice there is no holes in the last room, and the 10-foot by 20-foot corridor appears to have less holes than previous rooms.
are these studs sticking out, or do they look like something can fit inside them?
They look like they could possibly be pushed. If you push, someone was able to push their face into the illusion, you'd be able to see them. Colette would be able to tell Hit enough about that. So if you would peer through the illusionary barrier, you'd be able to see what Colette sees. And what you see is from top to bottom on the door is they look like the studs of a wall. They're evenly spaced, 7 of them along the door, but they almost look like piano keys in the way that they've attached the door. So they look like they can be pushed.
There will be some sort of sequence here. Kilek has he spotted these things? Maybe we should step through and take a peek.
Who has the most who's the most healthy of us?
I'm not feeling too bad.
I can't tell because my sheet isn't working.
Hit feels okay.
The sheet not working.
Well, not the sheet, the bloody overlay.
I'm feeling okay. I could do something.
Go for it, Inari.
No, you're not too bad. Should check that overlay. No, your overlay's working good, according to me.
Okay, it's not coming out.
Reading what your sheet should be.
Yeah, it's just not coming out for me.
Try refreshing, dude.
So am I trying these levers on the door in order?
I don't know, are you?
I'm gonna go and try the from right to left. No, from left. Hang on.
You're gonna discuss it. You're gonna discuss it with your group. Or you're just gonna do it.
Look at the group. And I'm gonna say should I try these things from left to right in the order that we've done them as we've come through?
Are there any runes or anything on the walls or
Nope.
on the?
No markings whatsoever.
Sorry, Anari, I'm at a loss. I have no idea if they can be pushed or what order, but I guess if it's some sort of pattern.
I'll give it a go. So I systematically go from left to right using the same combinations as we've used each door as we've come through.
Or you can't, because the moment you look at the first one, you can tell it can't be slid from left to right or up and down. It's just push in.
Yeah.
They can't be twisted. They're just, like I said, they're like a piano key.
Well, crap.
Push one, see what it does.
Hit. Where did you put that parchment? In your pack or in your pocket?
Just in my pouch.
Just in your pouch. Roll a perception check for me, just quickly, please.
Natural 20 again, yeah.
Nice.
I'm keeping that dice.
With that, you get this weird fucking sense that you need to look at that piece of paper again. It's the strangest thing. It's almost like a voice is again once being projected into your mind, and it just says, read it again.
Hit pulls it out and opens it up and has a read.
And as you look at it, it still looks like chicken scratchings to you. There's these runes and like there's the letter A. But as you sort of look at it, your eyes almost sort of defocus a little bit, and as you sort of come back into focus, the runes and things start to shift and move on the parchment and start to form discernible letters and words. And you start to read, look low and high for gold, to hear a tale untold, take the archway at the end, and your way you'll wend. And again, beneath that, beneath the runes is the letter A. I'll copy and paste it into the Discord as well.
Okay, hit.
How many keys?
7.
Do I know anything about musical instruments?
Do you?
I
I don't think you do.
I don't think I do either, damn it.
Head pulls his compass from his pack, opens it up. Is it still spinning?
Yes, it is.
He holds it over the sheet of paper and casts prestidigitation and makes like a smoke cloud around this bit of paper, and hits his. Oh, I should have done that before. I've got this now. And he relays the information that you are currently typing to us, to the group.
Well done.
The compass sees all. I knew it.
I was going to copy and paste, but it's on the other computer, so I have to type it out.
Hit, knowing music, might be able to make the check that you're thinking of, Inari.
Sorry, that was a really out of character moment.
Right, so in the Discord chat is that what was on that piece of parchment.
And just just going to say this. Yanti's been screaming at me about this, and it does make sense.
Hey,
If you find the false, you find the true, and into the
Auntie
checkered
needs
ball
to,
you
needs to
come.
speak up instead of scream at you and talk to the group.
Yeah,
I
Auntie.
have a chance.
Yeah.
Get some nag telling me.
Yeah. What?
So talk it out, guys. Talk it out.
Oh yeah. So she's been saying the about the line that says, "If you find the false, you find the true." In the column hall, you will become, and those the throne that key and keyed. So is it possible that this being something is in the key of A?
So that's what Ed was getting at before when he said something about keys. He thought, oh, is it in the key? But yeah, A is a good pointer. Look low and high for gold. Maybe we start with like a low key of A and work our way through. Hit reaches forward and presses one of these studs.
Which one? Let's say left to right, numbered 1 to 7.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1. You press it. You don't hear any musical notes, but you do hear an audible click, and it remains in. Doesn't reset.
Looking at these studs, is it like you say like a piano? Is it like one stud long and then one short and then one long and then two short?
They're all long. They all look
long.
identical.
I was just thinking of flats
studs,
and sharps.
When I say studs, they're not like 4x2 or anything like that. They're quite thin, probably about 2 inches wide, and they don't run the full length of the door. Probably about 2/3 the length of the door. Almost like they look like piano keys in that respect. They can be pushed in, but you sort of get the idea that it's some form of combination lock potential.
Okay, I pressed 1 and it stayed in. Anyone else want to go?
I say the last one because it says take the archway at the end.
Well, my dear, press it and see what happens.
I press the end one.
And you press in, which would be number 7.
Yes.
And you press it in, and it depresses and clicks. Who is standing in the front of the door with Fiala right now?
Hit.
So Het and Fiala are right in front of the door, both pressing a key each.
Yes.
I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh no. That is a natural 1.
A nat 1 for Fiala, guys. A critical fail. Het, what is your dexterity saving throw, sir?
Hit got a 13.
A 13. Well, you both fail. Fiala fails critically. So with that, as Fiala depresses the last of these studs, it audibly clicks, and then you hear a creaking sound as the door falls forward. This door is made from solid stone and falls on both of you, crumbling and breaking as it hits you both. But you both hit. You take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
And Fiala, you will take 30 points of bludgeoning damage with that critical fail as you get hit with the bulk of the weight of this door.
Would I have enough time to try and push her out of the way?
Depending on where you were. Again, no, you were holding up the door.
And it's a critical fail.
You were holding up. If Het stepped away, you would have been left holding the weight of the door. So no, you wouldn't have.
No, we put the door down.
No one said it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, when Hit stepped out from the door, we said, should we put it down?
You sure? I never heard that.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Play back.
I'll allow it, but
Yeah,
just in future, make sure you
did
let me
say.
know exactly what you're doing, because if you don't, I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to dive for
Make a
Yeah,
dexterity check then.
just a check.
Just a straight check.
And I'm going to try to knock Het out of the way
Oh,
too.
great. 11.
That would be a failure. So as you dive to try and push Fiala out of the way, you will also take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you get hit by some of the falling rubble. Sadiq, you're going to try the same thing with Het?
I'm going to more reach, grab him by the, the pack and try to pull him back.
Still be a dex check. It's a reactionary thing.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I would say that you managed to grab him and pull him back. How much damage did I give you, Het?
15.
15. Take half that, dude. So round it down. So six points of bludgeoning damage as you just sort of get caught on the upper thigh and knee as Sadiq manages to grab your pack and sort of yank you backwards. As this door sort of just falls in on you guys and is now just a pile of rubble and large stones or large blocks and that sort of falling into the room. But reveals the doorway, funnily enough.
Wow, that hit me like a primal concrete sledge. Are you okay, Fiela?
Fiela has all the wind knocked out of her, so she is silent.
And Inari, your shoulder, you just
Yep.
twanged your shoulder, and it's painful.
I'm
Het
just gonna-
quickly leans down and casts a heal on both of them.
What is the heal for them both?
It's just a cheap one too. Just rolling for it now. So that's a 3 for Inari and a 5 for Fiela.
It's better than a boot in the bum.
It is. It's hey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it right there. With the doorway falling in on top of our heroes. But what we will reveal to them just quickly before we do finish up is essentially, I know you guys are going to pretty much start to walk forward and try and figure out where the hell you've just sort of stumbled into. I'm only going to show you a portion of what you see because you won't be able to see the entire thing. So you'll be coming in at about there. So you're going to see 4. Coming in there. So this is roughly what you see through the opening as you sort of peer in. So the opening has opened here in this gap. And what you are seeing, sort of looking quickly sort of left and right, you see another doorway directly across this, again, brightly coloured sort of cobbled floor, green and yellow and blue cobbles sort of in some pretty cool looking patterns on the floor. And as you look around, you can see a whole bunch of orbs sort of seemingly floating against the wall, and the walls are painted as well with different figures and stuff, similar to the entry hall, just a little bit less bright than the entry hall before. So that is what you guys will come back to next week, if we indeed play next week. Otherwise it'll be the week after.
Sweet.
But that is what you see there. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it an evening. Thank you very much again to the players for joining us. Thank you very much for the viewers for joining us this evening for another episode, an episode 40 of Paradigm Bold. With that, I noticed tonight quite a number of Pantera references in our episode.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do is something similar to what we did at one of our, I think it was our 30th episode. If Het over the course of the next week can get back to me with the amount of references that he made.
I wrote it down, it's fine.
Awesome. So if you can DM me that in the Discord and check out the VOD, or if you were taking notice, DM me in the Discord or on my Twitter. So !social in the chat will give you my Twitter details. !Discord will give you the Discord details. Private message me in either my Twitter or the Discord the amount of Pantera references that were made by Het, not by anyone else, just Het. And I will give the winner a Steam game. I still have a bunch of Steam games to give away. So it'll be just a random Steam game. I've got a full list of them. So if anyone is interested in winning a free game, DM me that number over the course of the next week. The VOD will be up to YouTube tomorrow night, so you can go back and watch it tomorrow. You'll have until the next show, and we'll draw it on the next show. So whenever the next show will be, whether it's this week or next week, depending on the whole teeth thing, we'll draw it live on the very next episode. So if you want to be entered into that, DM me those numbers. Everyone can enter, including the players. It's open to everyone. I mean, anyone can watch the VOD and count those references. So it will come down to your knowledge of Pantera. So with that, we're going to call it there. Thank you, team. Great tonight. Except for you, Baz. But yeah, so as I said, no streams during the week this week, doing the whole teeth thing. We'll be back again hopefully next Sunday with episode 41 and the continuation of the Tomb of Horrors. Our team are getting through slowly. They're trying to decipher these clues and have figured a few things out, and it's interesting to me to listen, because I know what I've made some alterations to the Tomb of Horrors too, guys. So anyone who actually knows the Tomb of Horrors, you will notice some differences in the clues and the encounters these guys have. There will be some slight differences to the Tomb of Horrors. There'll be differences to any monsters they may encounter, if any. There'll be changes to traps and puzzles just to make it a little bit more unique to us and our show. But with that, thank you very much again, everybody. We're going to go raid the Lost Chapters, because I believe they'll probably be streaming by now.
I think they're offline due to technical difficulties.
Oh no, it's not allowed.
Who are we going to raid?
I'll have to have a look. It's
XP.
Oh, you want some XP? Oh, I suppose I should give you some XP, eh? And what should we give them, guys? Should we give them some XP? Do we really want to give them XP?
About 9,000 would be good.
About 9,000 would be good, you reckon? Well, how about we do minus 9,000? Because Inari keeps asking for XP. And then we take a level away as well. How about that? No, I'm kidding. So everyone, for that encounter, for role play and puzzle play, because you got yourselves through the illusionary walls without too much damage, you did all right. The battle went reasonably well, pretty much how I expected it to go. Let's say 2,800 XP for tonight, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
So that's not a problem, guys. So that should be a bit of fun next week. Got some more, possibly some more puzzles, maybe some monsters or 12. Who knows? But we're quickly going to go have a look, see who's actually online. And holy crap, I can hear myself. So they are offline due to technological difficulties. That's not fun. Let's have a look at the D&D category, see who else is on at the moment.
Well, with that being said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you all later.
No worries,
See you
Trash.
later,
Have a good one,
Trash.
buddy. Thank you, mate. Well, it doesn't really look like there's anyone on. 20 viewers, Wildmount Bloodhunter, Painted Filth. They're using roll 20. That's a rerun.
I reckon it's because of the public holiday. Everyone's taking the day off.
Possible.
Public holiday?
Nah, Queen's birthday over here tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Was it last
True.
weekend for us?
Yeah, we had it. Yeah, last weekend. I don't think we're going to raid tonight, guys. I think we'll just leave it. I'll just let my auto host pick up. So we're not going to raid tonight, guys. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you again in a week, hopefully. Like I said, keep an eye on the Discord and on the Twitter for information on when the next stream will be. It'll all depend on how I feel. If I'm feeling up to it during the week, I will add a stream. I'll probably do a gaming stream or something over on Mixer just to sort of ease my way back into it, or we might do some miniature painting, just listening to some music, so I don't have to talk too much for that. But I don't really want to sound like a douche nugget with potential lisp and all sorts of wonderful weird things with brand new teeth. So with that, thank you very much, and we are outies.
Bye, everybody.